That's our motto. We want freedom by any means necessary.
Hell, I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said, with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
Peace and power, what it is, what it do, family. Welcome back to the Black Alpha Network. Y'all already know what time it is. We going there today. We going there. Hell, we go there every day. But today we really going there because, you know, it's election season and it's op season and they coming out every day. They got a lot of hate for foundational Black Americans. So let me warn them. All the Democratic seals, all the tap dancers, the butter biscuit chasers, the banjos, the COONs, the coons. I'm telling you. They better hit the door. They better hit the exit because we on them. But before we go any further, we got to do what we always do right here on the Black Alpha Network. And I got my Allen Iverson on today, man. So y'all know we going all the way in. I need my FBA roll call. I need the family to tell me where they at. Everybody in the chat, let me see something. Let me know something. Let the whole world know what it is. And let it know how we going down. It's B1. We get it done certified all the time. So family, y'all know, with that said, with that all on the line, we got to go to work, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of folks out there right now, they trying to hate on us. They trying to run us in different directions. And they think they're going to pull the same game that they've always pulled on us. They think that they're going to run us in that same direction. This is not the African-American. Let's get that straight. Let's put that on the table. This is not the African-American. This is not the person of color. This is not the minority. Whatever bullshit ass name they try to put on us, we scratched it out and we put foundational. When you put foundational in front of Black American, the game changes. And that's what we done. And that's why the game's changed. And that's why they don't know what to do. But we know what to do because we always win. If you a certified foundational, you won when you woke up this morning. So what we got in the house, I see Seattle. I see Decatur. Okay, I see H-Town, Elizabeth, New Jersey. What it is. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's put in that work because this is what we do on this side, our side, the real side. Y'all know, family, in election season, they think we dumb. They think we crazy, family. They try to pull the same games over and over and over again. You got Mr. Jim Crow, Joe Biden. You got Collard Green, Kamala. These folks cosplay our lineage every single time election season pop up. And they think that we gonna go for that. They think that shit's sweet, but it don't work. And I'm telling you, the change of approach that we have had has literally changed the whole atmosphere of this whole country, family. Shout out to Vegas, I see you. Shout out to Kansas, I see you. Boston, I see you. Y'all know what it is. Black Alpha Network, we in the house representing for everybody, certified all across the country, all across the globe, because y'all know whenever we step into place, everything goes correct. So family, in election season, as we say, y'all know they're going to try to run the gambit on us, but see, we waiting. We watched everything that went on during the last election. Did we not? Did we not call everything that was going to happen? Brothers and sisters right here, we was calling out everybody. We was like, nah, y'all not going to run that game on us. No. We knew it. We knew they was going to try to run that game. We knew that they was going to try to hit us with the we all's black. Can't we all get along? Hell, Joe Biden came out and told us we ain't black and we don't vote for him. So yeah, Mr. Jimmy Crow, Mr. Sleepy Joe, I know he's probably taking a nap right now, but I guarantee you, after this episode and more episodes, everybody in the Black grassroots, everybody in the new Black media, I'm telling you, we coming for them. They better hit every single exit because we're not going to sit back and be like, damn, what we could have did. This ain't the coulda, woulda, shoulda generation. No. This is the hell to the nah. We throwing your ass out the building. We throwing your ass out the club. So if Jimmy Crow Joe, the Democratic Party, Republicans, anybody thinks that they're going to get us to go down, sit in the cold, pull that level, give them that vote for free, ain't happening. They're mad right now because we done showed up and we changed the game. But that's what we do. And that's what it is when you are certified, and we are certified all the time. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all smash that like button. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding. We right here on the Black Alpha Network. And I'm promising everybody, like I always say, we got receipts, family. We got receipts. Ain't nobody going to be running around here telling us we ain't black and we don't vote for them. Ain't nobody going to be running around here calling us boy. That may work with LL Cool J, all right? But this ain't LL Cool J, all right? This is the Black Alpha Network. This certified Black grassroots, and we ain't playing none of that. So we're going to go ahead and eradicate all the nonsense, all the fake energy, and we're going to put some real energy into place. And every time we do that, history has been proven that we win and they lose. So family, did y'all see when this man came out, Jimmy Crow Joe? And mind you, let's get this straight. We're going to dispel all the rumors, all right? Joe Biden officially is 237 years old. All right, this man is old as hell. Let's get it right. These people trying to run around and say Joe Biden is 70 or 80. No, Joe Biden is 237. He's going to be 238 within the next few months. So we're going to give him an early birthday gift, and that is this certified work. Now, y'all seen this man come out and say, boy, the good boy, on that real slave master. That's why we call him. That's Master Joe, that's Sleepy Joe, that's Jim Crow Joe. But they running around here calling him Uncle Joe. Family, they was calling this man Uncle Joe. That's what Obama and everybody was trying to sell. Today, we're going to break down. This man ain't no civil rights hero. This man is a civil rights segregationist, okay? This man is not pro-foundational Black American. This man is anti-Black across the board. He got that old dementia racism. You feel me? This man don't remember how old he is. He don't remember his name. He don't remember his kids, his grandkids, his great-great-great-grandkids, because he's old like that. But the one thing he remembers, family, is to be anti-Black. Y'all notice that? This man literally, I just seen it earlier. He said, when I was president, when you was president, he said, when Super Thursday, Super Tuesday. He don't remember nothing. But what does he always do? He always kicks into that racism. That shit is on autopilot. Well, if it's on autopilot, then that shit gonna crash today, family, because certified Black society, we are in the building, in the place. Ballers gonna ball and haters gonna hate. So we're gonna run it all the way back. And at the end of this episode, I'm telling you, the Democratic plantation going down. All right, let's get that straight. All right, all these cosplayers going down. Anybody who supports, I want all the shields to pull up. All the shields out there, I want y'all to pull up and get some of this real Black grassroots energy, because we're not gonna play with them. We're not gonna play them games. We're not gonna tap dance. We're only gonna give them that real. I guarantee you. And y'all can mark this down. At the end of this episode, it's going to be evidently clear, even more clear than we've already made it, that certified Black society is in full control. The Democratic plantation is on its way down, and they will find themselves in a situation where that Black vote is leaving them. Everybody says, well, man, Black folks is going to go down there and vote. Maybe the off code. But y'all know when on code step into place, off code got to hit the dope. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that the Democratic Party goes all the way down. And that is the mission. Black folks are going to get it right. If they want to stay on the plantation, they can stay. But guaranteed you're going to go down with that motherfucker in the process, in the meantime, and in between time. Do y'all remember this video right here? And family, y'all know we go 100 miles an hour and we got 100 receipts in the process. Do y'all remember this right here? This was the you ain't Black. This was the whole you ain't Black. This is what he said, family. This was said straight up, and these folks still went and voted for him. This is the type of stuff you're dealing with. You can't win with a Democrat. You can't make amends with a Democrat. You can't do nothing with the Democratic Party. Anybody who votes for the Democratic Party, I'm going to say it, is an open enemy of foundational Black Americans. I said it. I said it, and I mean it, and I stand by it. Anybody who goes down there and they place that vote for the Democrats blindly, they openly work against certified foundational Black society. And that goes for everyone, including the buck dancing caucus, because they're going to get that certified work today. Family, turn the volume up. Let's go. I want everybody. I want all y'all to tap in. Anything y'all say, I'm going to post it, because this is the way we regulate them. I'm not sitting back this election and seeing the same games of the last election. Ain't nobody arguing with nobody at the dinner table. We're not arguing about how great Obama was. We're not arguing about Uncle Joe. No, We say they ain't shit, they ain't shit. We calling the shots is getting called. That's the bottom line, family. Everything we say is right. Everything they say is wrong. We Michael Jackson, they Tito. Ain't nobody come to see them, Otis. So this is exactly what's going down in the place. Listen to this right here. And after we break down Mr. You Ain't Black, then we're going to put some certified Black society receipts. And at the end of all of this, Sleepy Joe is going to wake up from his nap and find out that the Black conservatives, the Black liberals, the Black independents, the Black Green Party, Orange Party, lavender, teal, off green, it don't matter. They all got to answer to us. Bet that.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't Black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run.
Listen what he starts shooting off, family. He says, look at my record. I endorsed the NAACP. They endorsed me. Who give a fuck about the NAACP? Not us. Then what does he say, family? He says, look at my record. I gave y'all the Voting Rights Act and this and all that. Don't no Black person out here in the street give a fuck about the Voting Rights Act. Let's put that clear on the table. They always try to run that on us like the Voter Rights Act and we need to worry about that. Don't nobody give a damn about none of that. What we give a damn about is reparations. And if you ain't talking reparations, every single other policy falls underneath that. So he's running that game right now, and then he busted out the "you ain't black." And we told everybody. We said it loud and clear. We put all the videos up. This video right here is 4 years old. And folks were still running around here saying, he didn't mean that. Okay, well, if he didn't mean that, let me tell you what we mean. We mean no reparations, no Sleepy Joe. One more time.
See us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record.
You know, I've been critical of you. I have a few things I want to talk to you about.
I know you have.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
No, I don't. That's why I want to get to know you today. I want to talk to you about mostly black stuff.
I get overwhelming support from the black leadership, young and old. Every poll shows me way ahead.
And black people saved your political life in the primaries this year. They have things they want from you. And one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered.
He said there are multiple black women being considered, and then they gave us collard green Kamala. So basically, they went right on back to the Barack Obama, okay? That's what they did. And notice everything he said, he named a bunch of people who are relevant. See, family, what's changed in this era is that we've ran every single irrelevant Negro out the building. It does not matter no more. I'm telling you, they can sit here and provide any person that they want. They can come out here and say, we're going to give y'all this person from the NAACP and Cobra or whatever bullshit shield organization that they find. We know better than anybody. None of that means anything for us. And we have upset the apple cart. We done threw a wrench in the game and they can't stand that. So as he sat back and he named all these irrelevant Negroes, we came in and let the world know, yeah, them are some irrelevant Negroes. And they ain't getting the vote just like you ain't getting the vote. And what happens to the Democratic Party when foundational black Americans say we taking our vote elsewhere? Notice, family, as Charlemagne, because let's be real, Charlemagne tap dancing. Charlemagne try to act like he's us. See, Charlemagne is one of them black grassroots imposters. And you got to watch people like him. They sit back, they watch every single thing we say, and then they try to duplicate it and talk like they us. Charlemagne said all that, and then he basically said he loved him some Kamala. And he calls Clyburn OG Clyburn. So we ain't worrying about him. That's just an imposter. And an imposter getting put on the corner the same way the Democratic shields are, the same way Sleepy Joe is. Now, if you notice, everybody that he ran through and everybody that he spoke of, all of those people are irrelevant. And it's not just they're irrelevant because people would see them. Now they're irrelevant and we letting them all know. So it don't matter who the hell you're being endorsed by. It don't matter who you represent. It don't matter. If you're not talking to us, then the game has changed. This is the first time, family. Let me make this clear. This is the first generation where the black grassroots is commanding everything. See, back in the old days, the black grassroots was, it used to be underground. It was kind of like, the underground rapper. He'd be the best rapper in the world, but his ass don't go platinum. Now we go platinum and they go triple plastic. They go triple wood. They can't sell out nothing. We've controlled it. We took all them folks, threw them off the bus, and now we in command, and that's why things is getting done. So when we called out Mr. Jimmy Crow Joe, notice how he's talking right there. And you're going to see this thing where he always got some type of spite when he talk about FBA. You notice that, family? Anytime he talk about us, he's doing this. He's wagging his finger. Hey, you ain't black. You ain't black. He's talking reckless. We got a track record with this man going back to the 70s. And we're going to expose that he was never no civil rights icon, no civil rights leader. They try to sell us. Man, please, let me tell you something. Joe Biden was never no civil rights icon. He was never no civil rights hero that only exists in the Democratic Shield minds. What he was an anti-black racist in the 50s, anti-black racist in the 1800s, in the 1900s, and in the 2000s. And we got it all on documentation. We got all the work, all the papers, all the receipts. Oh, this ain't the era where we just out here talking. This ain't the era where we just out here saying things that don't add up. Our math is A1. Our math is correct. Our math comes to, and they can't say nothing about it. They don't like the very fact, family, that we can pull up receipts on them, that they try to hide. Half this stuff, what he said, family, they've been trying to hide this stuff off the internet for years. For years. They try to swipe this stuff, family. They don't really want to live in the world. Well, we know exactly the things that they've been saying. We know all the lies and we can pull it out. They say they did this. We say no. How many times, family, they try to tell us all these things Barack Obama did for us and we can't find nothing. We can't find a damn thing that Barack Obama did for us. You know why? Because he ain't do nothing. And they don't like the fact that we can say it and we can show it, that we can present it. We can put it on the table. So they try to swipe it. We find it. They try to run, can't hide. They try to duck and dodge, we own them. And that's the difference between us and everyone else. We know that Joe Biden is extremely old. We know that Joe Biden is barely hanging on. We know that Joe Biden has dementia kicked in. It ain't going nowhere. But the one thing that we know better than anybody is that when it boils down to it, they're going to move when we move. And every time that we move, things get accomplished, things get done. And all the Democratic shields, they run and hide. Going back to Mr. You Ain't Black, as he sat there and said, you ain't black, and he said all those nonsense and all those lies, family, a racial jungle, absolutely. When he said all those things, family, we pulled out the receipts, but we're going to take it all the way back. So that's Mr. You Ain't Black, and we see that he been you ain't blacking black folks for a long time, and we got receipts for a long time. So they're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to learn to love it because Certifies is in the building. Watch these receipts on Joe Biden's history of acting like a civil rights icon when really he's just another anti-black Democrat.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes.
He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the civil rights movement.
I got involved in the civil rights movement.
I got involved in desegregated movie theaters. They organized voter registration drives from the time I got involved as a high school kid in the civil rights movement. But I was a kid involved in the civil rights movement, desegregating restaurants and movie theaters in my state. From the time I got involved as a kid in the civil rights movement. Sit-ins and desegregating restaurants. And I got involved in the civil rights movement just as a kid. And that's why I got so deeply involved in my community with the civil rights movement. When I sat in black churches on the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware. I come out of the civil rights movement. I start off in the black churches and we'd go from there to desegregate movie theaters. For real, I got involved in the civil rights movement. From the time I've been 18 years old, I've been involved in causes from the civil rights movement. Got involved in the civil rights movement and desegregating restaurants, that kind of thing. Coming out of the civil rights movement and being involved in the Jewish community as a kid in the civil rights movement. I got involved in the civil rights movement and get ready to go out and desegregate restaurants and movie theaters. This is what got me involved in civil rights as a kid. I got very engaged, in my case, the civil rights movement.
Quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement. And more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood and kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
No, that ain't really, really, really weird. That ain't nothing but some anti-black racism. And that's the Democratic Party trying to sell it to us. Y'all seen that? He said civil rights 100 times. And the facts have come out from the people who were there in Delaware. They said they never saw Jim Crow Joe Biden. He said he was some type of segregation fighter. He went against everyone who was anti-black back then. But everybody back then says that those were the people that he was hanging with. Y'all know all of those anti-black segregationists that he was running with. Y'all know about all of those known confirmed supremacists that he be hanging with then and now. So we see that all of this civil rights hero is a lie. And they're openly telling us right there that it's a lie. So when we put the receipt on the table and we really talk to the people that were there back then, and everyone says what we say, that is another win for certified foundational Black American. And that is why Joe Biden's plantation is going down. That's why the election is going down. And that's why we will be the only ones left standing, because we the only ones who talk that real shit. And they know it. So look right there, family. And remember, every single time that they try to tell us that this man is some type of civil rights icon, and we knew it, you can look at these folks, man. Like I said, he's 237 years old. He got that old school racism. See, Joe Biden used to run around and he used to try to talk that, openly overt racism. And then he tried to transition into more of a covert racism. All right, take 94 crime bill. When the 94 crime bill came out, he was real stern. He was real. You know, now he tries to go into this grandpa style racism, and we've been calling that out. So it don't matter if he's doing that old man supremacy, he doing that young man supremacy. We know the type of supremacy, and once again, we are there every single time he turns around the corner. And family, it don't just stop there. His anti-black policies are the same anti-black policies that the Democratic Party have been trying to put on us for years, and we call it out again. Do y'all remember going back in time when this man came out and he was telling fuck the racial jungle and all those other things he said? We already know about that. But family, let's talk about all of his plans and the erasure that is going on with certified foundational Black Americans, and who is the main person right there on the front line trying to put that into play? Jimmy Crow Joe Biden. We've seen all the laws, all the rules, and everything they say. We see them coming out here saying how they need 11 million illegals. Oh, we going there. We're going to touch on every single anti-black policy that the Democratic Party puts on the table, every single Democratic shield. It don't matter who, don't matter where. When we got you, we got you. So when you start talking about these anti-black racists, you start talking about these policies of the Democratic Party, you see right there, this man was running around saying, I was just here right here, and I was there, and I was desegregated schools. Okay, all that found out is bullshit. We said that he wasn't going to do nothing for foundational Black Americans on election day. Before election day, we said it. He ain't did nothing for foundational Black Americans. Mind you, on election night, he's like, blacks have always had my back. And he ain't did one thing. Like I said before, family, there's a difference between doing two things, one thing, and zero. They haven't done a goddamn thing for us. So that means they ain't going to get a goddamn vote. And if the off code want to vote, like I said, they can be on that plantation. But I'm telling you now, being on that plantation in the long run, we know what happened to the tools when they get used, they get broken. All right. And we sit back and we watch them break, and we ain't putting them back together. So not only has Joe Biden been facilitating all these anti-black policies going back to the 1994 crime bill, being an open segregationist, being an open supremacist, he also, family, has been the main one putting forth this illegal immigrant. You know, the whole illegal immigration thing that they've been trying to push on us, family, that's been being spearheaded by the Democratic plantation, the Democratic Party. They're the main ones who've been doing it. So when you see them come out and they make statements about we need to bring in 11 million illegals, family, you already know the type of time that they're on. And I'm telling you right now, Jimmy Crow Joe is the main one facilitating all of that. And we're going to put it all on the line right here. Let's break down the immigration policy of not only Jimmy Crow Joe, but of the Democratic Party. And the same person that all of them shields went down and they voted for is the same person trying to run their asses out the building. But guess what? We're going to be exposing them in the process the same way we expose everybody in the process. Watch this right here. This got played the other night. Check Chuck Schumer come out and
now
said they need
more
11
than
million.
ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however.
Freeze. Wait a minute, family. Let's go into some real supremacist translation right here. Listen to what he said. I'm going to start that back. Listen to the dog whistles. This ain't nothing but a supremacist dog whistle, family. And if you listen close, they're admitting the erasure that we talk about.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing its.
No. It ain't about them being short of workers, family. What he's saying is that we're running short of supremacists. These certified foundational Black Americans have gotten so on code, we can't handle them. They got rid of all the bullshit, old, outdated terms that we put on their back. They ripped that goddamn jacket off. They ain't vote for us. They got too much goddamn influence. We could sit there on a publicly traded company that makes billions of dollars of profit and lie to Black Americans all across the whole goddamn world for 15 minutes. People from the Black media, Black grassroots, we can get on top and we can cancel out all of that with one episode. Like we doing right now. Smash that like button. This is what they don't like, family. We got too much influence. We running things. Supremacy is against the ropes. You got some folks out there and they act like supremacy is just undefeated. Supremacy is not undefeated. You can knock supremacy the fuck out KO. The problem is that them old folks back in the day, they was doing too much singing. Us right here in this generation, we doing a whole lot of swinging. Salute to Alabama and across the country. This is the type of time that we on. So when he goes on national television and he makes this plea, because that's the plea. Let's get to the supremacist translation, family. When he says something along the lines of, we need more people to come to this country, we ain't reproducing, we ain't making amends, what he's really saying is that we ain't got that tight grip no more. Who's responsible for them not having that tight grip? Let me tell you something, family. It ain't the Jamaicans. It ain't the Africans. It ain't the diaspora. No, it's certified foundational Black Americans, the only lineage, heritage, and culture that has always stood up to supremacy, the only lineage, heritage, and culture that has always fought back, and the only lineage, heritage, and culture that has always won. So the buck dancing stops, and we putting an end to the buck dancing. Trust me when I tell you, we're not in the position to sit back and observe this. We're not in the position to sit back and just see it and call it out. Calling shit out don't mean nothing. It's all about action. It's all about speaking truth to power, taking that power and delivering it. And that's the type of thing that we on. So sit back, family, and watch the same way he starts giving them dog whistles. And he's saying, we need some help. That's what he's doing. He waving that flag. He's saying, please, please get us some help. I don't give a damn if you got to bring in Julio, Sanchez, Gonzalez. I don't give a fuck. We cannot control these FBAs no more. They are too strong. But guess what? We only getting stronger.
On its own, with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Family, whenever in the history of supremacy have you seen an open supremacist get on national television and tell the whole goddamn world we are not reproducing? When have they ever put out their supremacist dirty laundry? One thing you know about the dominant society, they only talk like that when they scared. And then you got to ask, what's making them so scared? Who got them so scared? Who got them against the ropes? Who got them all shook up? We do. All about us. That's why I'm always saying, family, we don't walk with our head to the ground. We walk with our head to the goddamn sky because we earned it. And if you a champ, live like it. That's what they don't like. We in this generation, is it this era, we know that we great, so we acting like it. We wearing that. So when you see him saying we need all these new people to come on in, we need all these people to basically give us some more recruits. Now y'all know. Now y'all know exactly what type of time that is. That is basically them saying at the end of the day, these Black Americans got shit under control and we cannot contain them. Please help us any day. Now, with that said, that is just one supremacist. And that is the supremacist dog whistle. If you listen long enough, family, they're going to tell you everything that you need to hear. If you listen and you watch and you observe and you know how to train your eyes, then you can hear that supremacy right now, they shook up and they against the ropes. So they send out people to say things like that. And when they say things like that, Mr. Jimmy Crow, Sleepy Joe, he come out and he say things like this. Watch him say that those 11 million illegals that Chuck Schumer was just referring to, we just heard him. Chuck Schumer said, we need 11 million people. We ain't reproducing. We need assistance. FBA got us all fucked up. We don't know how to handle it. Come help us. Watch Joe Biden come back on top of that and say the same exact thing. But he takes it a step further. Watch Jim Crow Joe say he thinks that those 11 million illegals, he feel that they already Americans. Yes, he said it. I got the receipts. We got it. Check it.
You know, 11 million people living in the shadows, I believe they're already American citizens. Teddy Roosevelt said it better.
Whoa. You believe that 11, listen to how the statement started. The 11 million people living in the shadows are already Americans. So basically, fuck the Constitution, fuck immigration, fuck the rules, fuck the regulations. It's all about supremacy. That's what he's saying. And they are willing to bring in anybody that will help assist them in supremacy and will help assist them from foundational Black Americans putting our foot in their ass, even to the point where he's saying, you ain't even got to come here and be legal. You're already an American. Man, we got him shook. One more time.
You know, 11 million people living in the shadows, I believe they're already American citizens. Teddy Roosevelt said it better. He said, Americanism is not a question of birthplace or creed or a line of descent. It's a question of principles, idealism, and character. These people are just waiting for a chance to be able to contribute fully. And by that standard, 11 million undocumented aliens are already Americans, in my view.
This man called them aliens. He said 11 million aliens are already Americans. So, family, either this man is complete desperate or he's saying that all the aliens can come on in. And when you need all the aliens to come on in, he's telling you right now he don't know what to do. Continue.
All they want. They just want a decent life for the kids, a chance to contribute to a free society, a chance to put down roots and help build the next great American century.
Nah, no. That ain't what it is. That ain't what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with roots. It ain't got nothing to do with help. It ain't got nothing to do with building no country. We already did all that. We already the ones bringing the exceptionalism and the excellence to this country. Everybody that you sitting there seeing to talk that type of stuff, it already's here. We the ones already out here putting in all that great work. So what's it really about, Joe? It's the same thing that Chuck Schumer is talking about. Y'all getting your asses whooped and y'all need that goddamn help. So when you see them and they need that type of help, family, you can go to the border and you see it live and clear. There's a video coming out every single goddamn day. Every single goddamn day. Y'all been seeing these videos popping up? Y'all been seeing this? Let's look at some of these folks that he's saying, come on in, my friend. Let's look at some of these videos. Y'all check this one out right here. Tell me that they ain't trying to bring in some folks so they can get some supremacist assistance because FBA is too on code right now. Look at these folks, family. Look at them pulling up. They having a jolly ass time, ain't they? They jumping on trains. It's not my fault when I say that they be hopping, skipping, jumping, running, swimming to get to America. I mean, look, I remember goddamn a horseback, but they on goddamn train back. What's really going on in these streets? Look at it right there. There's a new video every single day, family, of these folks coming into this country by the flock. Look at the border. And these are the folks who are coming in this way. Then you got folks coming in that way everywhere, all across the board. And these are the policies that you see from the Democratic Party, in particular, Sleepy Joe. So when he wakes up from his nap and he sees this footage, remember, he told us that them people are already Americans. He said, that's Americans right there, family. According to him, them people right there are Americans. That is according to Jimmy Crow Joe. And it ain't done, family. It ain't done. It ain't done. More videos of these people coming in, flying in.
Customs and Border Protection cut a hole through the concertina wire that has been stretched by Texas DPS.
Let me give y'all some context to this right here. Let me give y'all some context. Okay. When you seen this video just popped up. I'm telling you, every day. They said under Biden's direction, Customs and Border Protection cuts Texas DPS barbed wire barrier, keeping out all the hoarders and all the illegals. So what they're saying is, family, is that not only are these people coming, but under Biden's directions, they're cutting the barbed wire so these people can get a safe passage. Watch it. That's El Paso, Texas. Salute to everybody in Texas.
In Eagle Pass, Texas, where just moments ago, Customs and Border Protection cut a hole through the concertina wire that has been stretched by Texas DPS along the border there to allow migrants to come through. It was initially a group of about 60 to 70 people. It swelled to some 300 very, very quickly. Some women and children who were sort of in.
It started off with 60 to 70 people. Listen what he said. Whoa. Fuck that. We got receipts. This ain't just Black Alpha 6 talking. This is them. This is dominant society and dominant society, family. What I say, this is Mayo and this is Miracle Whip. When Mayo and Miracle Whip get to talking, all we got to do is listen. He says that there were only 60 people there. And then they cut the barbed wire by the directions of Jimmy Crow, Sleepy Joe. And then that 60 to 70 swelled up into 300. Y'all know they got an immigration plan.
Wire that has been stretched by Texas DPS along the border there to allow migrants to come through. It was initially a group of about 60 to 70 people. It swelled to some 300 very, very quickly. Some women and children who were sort of in the middle of the river were picked up by, I guess it would be Texas DPS because they're running the airboats there up and down the river and taken out of the water and to safer ground there. But as you can see, as we have watched for the last couple of weeks, the illegal migration across the river into the United States continues. With this border crossing in Eagle Pass, seeing thousands of people. And then over the weekend, we set what we believe is a new record of 11,000 people crossing into the United States in a single day. We'll keep an eye on.
Family, that man said they done broke a record of 11,000 people crossing into the United States in one day. They know this, family. They know this very goddamn well. It ain't just us making it up. These videos is right there. Cameras was rolling. They seen it, and there's a new video every day. I can't even keep up at this point with my timeline. My timeline pops up every single day with something like this, every single day. And when we call it out, people don't want to say nothing. Y'all know what's going on. By the way, I've been there. I've been right there in El Paso, Texas. I seen folks jump into the water, swim across, get up, dust their shirt, wring that motherfucker off, and go to the club. And they know it. But now what you're starting to see is you're starting to see Biden give directions. That's what the anchor just said. That ain't us. That ain't the black grassroots. That's their people. Mayo said that Miracle Whip is cutting the barbed wire and letting Mr. Sanchez come on in. You feel me? This is what they said. We got receipts on them. What I would say, family, don't get mad at foundational black Americans for calling out your bullshit. Get mad at yourself for doing it. So when you seen that right there, that's only one. Family, we show what? 3, 4, 5. You have so much footage where it's really hard to keep up with because every single day they crossing the border. Motherfuckers crossing the border right now. Let's not get it twisted. As we speak, as we broadcast, as we put out this signal to the whole world, there are people by the thousands coming across every single border that they can find in America. And Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, are all saying, come on in. Joe just sat there and told you he thinks they already Americans. He said that those people are already Americans. He said the aliens. He said, I think all aliens are really Americans. So what does that tell you? It tells you that it don't stop, and it tells you that I got another video. Timeline blowing the fuck up, family. Look at this video right here. This was last night at the southern border. Thousands upon thousands of men from across the third world are pouring into our nation every single day. Biden's giving them millions, and Biden is giving them amnesty, work visas, which seems to have put the problem on steroids. Check it out. Well, they coming. Look at them, family. Look. Every day. What would happen if the cameras weren't rolling? They be trying to tell us this ain't going on. Them is grown men. Why do folks ain't getting it popping in their homeland? Family, understand. These are the same people who come over here and try to talk crazy to us. These are the same folks that were attacking that brother up in New York City. We played that video on the last episode. Why you ain't building your homeland? How come it's always grown-ass men and they not bringing their families? All that, they coming over here for families. You see grown men that could be getting their countries popping. They could be in their own military. They could be fighting their own wars. They'll say, I came to America because America hurt my family. So you come to America to get away from America. Yes, and we calling it out. Look at that, family. They coming. They come in full speed. So what did we see right there? They say Joe Biden's immigration policy, which doesn't exist, is allowing them to come on in, and they're saying that put the problem on steroids. We're also seeing them say that Joe Biden basically gave orders to some of his cronies at the border to go ahead and do what? To cut the barbed wire and to let these folks file on into the country. So the reports are coming out every single day, family, and the reports are getting even more crazy. I guarantee you in the next few years, fam, everything the certified foundational black Americans is going to come true, and all the lies are going to come up. What's done in the dark comes to light, family, and that's all we do. We just sit back and we expose it time for time, again and again, and it don't stop. But it don't stop just right there, family. You got the border, you got money, you got amnesty, you got them giving out everything that they can. They reaching into their pockets. They giving these folks allowances, literally. They're giving them allowances. Now, the same government that sits back and tells us how they can't do nothing for us and they ain't got the money, and they ain't got the time, they ain't got the energy or the effort. What do we always see, family? We see them dishing out the paper. These folks is getting money, and these folks ain't even from America. Of course, you know, Joe Biden said they are Americans, but we know they're not. Foundational black Americans are. We built this, so they run into the country that we created. So when I say that they get to fleeing, and I say if the fleas fit, wear them, then I'm only speaking the truth. I'm only being real, and you can't get mad at what's real. So you're sitting back and you're seeing them play the game, and you're starting to see them change the demographics. So you can take it back. FBA gets to whooping ass. FBA gets on code. Dominant society starts getting against the ropes. Dominant society starts getting desperate. Dominant society starts cutting barbed wire and bringing everybody in. We win, they lose, they need recruits. That's just what it is. There's always the throwback whenever we get on code, and that right there is the throwback. All this influx of people. There's no coincidence, family, that as soon as we get on extreme code, I'm not talking about 5-6 people with a goddamn afro and a dashiki. No. I'm talking about when we got on real game and we got on real code. What happened, family? What ended up happening? Then you start seeing the immigration policy go up. Every time Black Americans get a gain, trust me, they're going to try to respond with immigration. Immigration is nothing more than their supremacist recruits. That is what it is. It's always been the case. That is, if you follow history, the same thing that happens time and time again. They always got something to throw at us. But see, they used to throw mass incarceration. We call that out. They try to throw all these type of drugs. We call that out. The gender divide, we ain't going for none of that. I got certified brothers and sisters right here in this chat, so they can't hit us with that. They can't hit us with Roe versus Wade. Everything that they've tried to put on us ain't working. So now they picking up that goddamn phone, or they sending out them kites, or they cutting that barbed wire, and they trying to bring in folks from everywhere across the country. And we know it, we've seen it, we watch it, and as it goes down, we stay on the come up. But family, during the last election, we said some things that they didn't like. See, that Black vote going down. They don't like that. Understand, family, we ain't got to get every single Black person on the planet Earth to not vote for the Democratic Party. All we need is 2 to 3%. Do you understand that 2 to 3%, that would affect the Democrats, but they would lose in every single runoff election? If it ever gets close and we chop down that 2 to 3%, oh, they done. And they know this. See, they're not worried about every single Black person not going to vote. That's why I don't give a fuck. You could be 90 years old. You could be civil rights coon. You could be a tap dancer, buck dancer. You can go vote right now for the Democratic Party all you please. But I guarantee you, when certified foundational Black Americans put out that word and our influence is stronger than ever, if we stop them and we can decrease the Democrats by 2%, family, let me say this. This Black Alpha, quote it like I spoke it. We have the power just by decreasing the Democrats by 2% to change the whole electorate of the whole country. 2%. That's it. 2%, we can ruin everything. And they know it. Folks on Instagram, Twitter, they may not know it. We know it. And they understand it. So this is why you're seeing all these type of outreaches. They're trying to get every goddamn rapper. They're trying to come at us with collard greens. Kamala Harris literally showed up, family, with a big-ass collard green. And that shit ain't working. So what do they got working for them? Nothing. What do we got working for us? Everything. And one of the biggest aces in our pocket, family, that we have, one of the best things that we could ever do, and I've been on this, family, and I know a lot of y'all been on it. Anytime you see Mayo going one-on-one with some Miracle Whip, the best thing you do is either sit back and watch it or you instigate it. And that's what we need to do, because this election's coming up and you got one person who represents the supremacy of we need to get in some new recruits and we need to bring in Mr. Sanchez and all these folks southern of the border. Then you got another guy saying he gonna build a wall and he don't want none of their asses here. Well, I think that's prime for us to pull on up and say, hey, we might need to do some talking. We might need to support a wall. We might need to support somebody who's gonna be closed border anti-immigration. If foundational Black Americans get in between that, fuel that, and break that down, trust me when I tell you the Democratic plantation is going to go down an hour ago. That's the type of time we on, and this is what they do not like. The day we get politically savvy is the day the game changes. And guess what, family? We politically savvy because we are on code, on game, and stronger than ever. Watch this right here. And I want the whole family to tell me, just looking at it from the microscope of immigrants in or out, these people coming from the southern border in or out, or the erasure in or out, which one of these fits foundational Black Americans? And better yet, the best question is, how can we exploit this and turn this up in our favor? Watch this question, watch this breakdown, and we gonna break it down. Smash that like button. Certified BLACK Black Alpha Network.
Mr. President, your administration separated children from their parents at the border, at least 4,000 kids. You've since reversed your zero tolerance policy, but the United States can't locate the parents of more than 500 children. So how will these families ever be reunited?
Children are brought here by coyotes and lots of bad people, cartels, and they're brought here, and they used to use them to get into our country. We now have as strong a border as we've ever had. We're over 400 miles of brand new wall. You see the numbers, and we let people in, but they have to come in legally, and they come in through
But
merit.
how will you reunite these kids with their families,
Let me just tell you,
Mr.
they
President?
built cages. You know, they used to say, I built the cages. And then they had a picture in a certain newspaper, and it was a picture of these horrible cages. And they said, look at these cages. President Trump built them. And then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
Do you
They
have a
built
plan to reunite
cages.
the kids?
Yes,
with
we're
their
working on
families?
it we're trying very hard. But a lot of these kids come out without the parents. They come over through cartels and through coyotes and through gangs.
Vice President Biden, let me bring you into this
525
conversation. Quick response and then another question to you.
These 500 plus kids came with parents. They separated them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. Bay, real tough. We're really strong. And guess what? They cannot, it's not coyotes didn't bring them over. Their parents were with them. They got separated from their parents. Begin with. Bay, real tough. We're really strong. And guess what? They cannot, it's not coyotes didn't bring them over. Their parents were with them. They got separated from their parents. And it makes us a laughing stock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
Let me ask you a follow-up
Kristen,
question.
they did it. We changed the policy.
Your response
They
to
did
that?
it. We changed.
did not
They built the
separate
cages.
They,
Who built the cages, Joe?
let's talk about what
Who
we're
built the
talking about.
cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about what we're talking about.
Freeze. Hold up. Oh, I didn't even know I was on mute. Fuck that. I was speaking some good game. We got to double that back. Oh, no. I got to say that twice. Hell no. We got time today. Listen, he was lying. He was full of shit. When we see those videos, we do not see anybody bringing no kids. You're not throwing your kids over the barbed wire. You're not throwing your kids across the desert. You're not throwing your child across the river. It's just not happening. He's fronting. And we know that because we simply look at the videos. You ain't got to ask. You ain't got to look around, family. Look at the videos. And when you look at the videos, what do you see? You see a bunch of grown-ass men coming over here. You see a bunch of people who are 19, 20, 21, 22, 30, 40. They come over here and they want in on the country. And like I was saying when I was on mute, but I'm back. What we see, family, is that they want to come over to the country that we built, but we built it. They want to come over here to the country that we created, but we're the ones who created it. They want to come over here and they want to get in on what we created, what we built, what we maintained and sustained, but they ain't got it in them. So they run on over to Massa, and then they start asking Massa, hey, Massa, can we get in on foundational Black Americans? And then Master Joe says, come on in. But if you notice, family, he contradicts himself. One minute he says that they're coming over here looking for jobs. Then the next minute he says they're coming over here by themselves. One minute he says they're coming in here looking for something with their family. Next minute he says they came in on coyotes. When you look at that stage, Trump was the only person being honest about what's really going on with mass immigration. Joe Biden is there to lie. Joe Biden is there to front. And Joe Biden is there so he can bring in them supremacist assistants that Chuck Schumer was talking about. So as we sit back, we watch the videos and we see the way things go down, we understand this is all one big front, one big con game, and foundational Black Americans are the only ones calling it out. Listen to him contradict himself, family.
Very hard. But a lot of these kids come out without the parents. They come over through cartels and through coyotes and through gangs.
Vice President Biden, let me bring you into this
525
conversation. Quick response and then another question to you.
These 500 plus kids came with parents. They separated them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. Bay, real tough. We're really strong. And guess what? They cannot, it's not coyotes didn't bring them over. Their parents were with them. They got separated from their parents. And it makes us a laughing stock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
Let me ask you a follow-up
Kristen,
question.
they did it. We changed the policy.
Your response
They
to
did
that?
it. We changed.
did not
They built the
separate
cages.
They,
Who built the cages, Joe?
let's talk about what
Who
we're
built the
talking about.
cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about what we're talking about. What happened? Parents were ripped, their kids were ripped from their arms and separated. And now they cannot.
Who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages? Answer the question, family. I'm telling y'all, he over there, supremacist slipping.
Find over 500 of sets of those parents, and those kids are alone. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Let me ask
Kristen,
you
I
about
will say this.
immigration.
They went
10
down.
seconds,
We
and
brought
then I need to ask a
reporters,
question.
everything. They are so well taken care of. They're in facilities that were so clean.
But some
and
of
have
them
gotten
haven't been
such
reunited
But
with their
just ask
families.
one question. Who built the cages? I'd love you to ask him that. Who built the cages?
Let me ask about your immigration policy, Mr. Vice President. The Obama administration did fail to deliver immigration reform, which had been a key promise during the administration. It also presided over record deportations as well as family detentions at the border before changing course. So why should voters trust you with an immigration overhaul now?
Because we made a mistake. It took too long to get it right. It took too long to get it right. I'll be president of the United States, not vice president of the United States. And the fact is, I've made it very clear. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people. And all of those.
I want everybody to notice one thing, family. I want y'all to notice this. Whenever, look at him now, family. Look how his head's down. I want y'all to notice how his head is down. He knows that he's full of shit, and he knows he's fronting. And he's also saying that the Obama administration made a mistake because the Obama administration weren't trying to bring these folks in at the same level that we are in. Now, mind you, Obama was, but at the end of the day, the Obama administration was trying to play these games and still trying to talk that talk to us. That ain't what's going on when you start dealing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not there to play patty cake. Joe Biden is there to bring everybody in as much and as fast as possible. And this is the type of games that you consistently see from them. He got his heads down because he know he lying. He know he lying, family. And on top of him knowing that he lying, he know that we watching. Watch him proceed, continuing to lie. We don't see no kids and no families coming over here at night. And if you were bringing your kid and your family through a damn desert over barbed wire, you probably somebody who ain't coming to contribute to society anyway, Sleepy Joe.
Those so-called dreamers, those DACA kids, they're going to be immediately certified again to be able to stay in this country and put on a path to citizenship. The idea that they are being sent home by this guy and they want to do that is they're going to a country they've never seen before. I can imagine you're 5 years old, your parents are taking you across the Rio Grande River and it's illegal.
Wait, that's what I just said right there, family. He said you 5 years old and you getting taken across the desert. Family, first off, we don't see that. We don't see that at all. We see grown-ass men and sometimes grown women. You don't be seeing these families. And second off, if somebody is doing that, what makes you think they're going to come here and contribute? Imagine if a Black American put their child in any type of situation like that. We just seen Kamala Harris was locking folks up for not sending their kids to school. Even when people had some type of health and some type of ailment, she was still locking them up. But yet when it comes to these people, they're supposedly walking through the goddamn desert with snakes and everything, and it's okay. Nah, you capping, and it's all fronting, and it shows you again. They are willing to bend every single rule that they can so they can serve the dominant society, they can serve supremacy, and we call that shit out every step of the way. They can't handle us right now. We winning.
And you say, oh no, Mom, leave me here. I'm not going to go with you. They've been here. Many of them are model citizens. Over 20,000 of them are first responders out there taking care of people during this crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
Kristen, he had 8 years to do what he said he was going to do.
Wait a minute. Oh, no. I caught that. Let me run that all the way back. Did you hear what he just said, family? Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said about them and illegals. Listen what he said. We what them? We what?
Crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
Whoa, one more time for anybody who didn't hear that. This is for people in the back row. One more time.
Out there taking care of people during this crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
Ain't that funny, family? He said that we owe them. But when we start talking about building this country, they say that they don't owe us nothing. They say that we don't deserve the money. They say that we ain't got the money. But yet he tells us that we owe him. He didn't say we should give them something. He didn't say we should help them. He didn't say we should do some type of assistance. That man straight up said we owe them. We owe them, meaning I'm going to give somebody something. Family, when you start talking about owing somebody, I think money. I think money. And guess what? All of those people that they're talking about right now that got separated at the border by Trump, do you know that they was getting $400,000 a piece? A piece? And Joe Biden openly wrote that check and gave it to him. So yeah, when they talk about reparations and they talk about who's owed and the debt, they're giving money and saying they owe somebody when there ain't even no debt. What debt does any of us, because it's our taxpayer money, what debt do we owe any of them people? They're not even Americans. They haven't even been to this country. And he's trying to tell us that we owe them something. And he getting mad about it because he always got the attitude when he starts talking about them. Family, we don't owe them a goddamn thing. We don't owe the Democratic Party a goddamn thing. We don't owe anybody a goddamn thing except for, y'all know what? Salute to Dr. Hendrik Clark. Y'all know the rest of that quote. We don't owe anybody nothing, but yet he's openly telling us that we owe a bunch of illegal aliens who came to this country illegally. Boy, stop.
Kristen, he had 8 years to do what he said he was going to do. And I've changed without having a specific. We got rid of catch and release. We got rid of a lot of horrible things that they put in and that they lived with. But he had 8 years he was vice president. He did nothing except build cages to keep children in.
Vice President Biden, your response.
The catch and release, you know what he's talking about there? If in fact you had a family came across and they were arrested, they in fact were given a date to show up for their hearing. They were released. And guess what? They showed up for a hearing. And this is the first president in the history of the United States of America that anybody seeking asylum has to do it in another country. That's never happened before in America. That's never happened before in America. You come to the United States and you make your case that I seek asylum based on the following premise, why I deserve it under American law. They're sitting in squalor on the other side of the river.
President Trump, your response,
So
30
important.
seconds, and then we'll move on.
It just shows that he has no understanding of immigration or the laws. Catch and release is a disaster. A murderer would come in, a rapist would come in,
right?
A very bad person would come in.
Right.
We would take their name. We have to release them into our country. And then you say they come back. Less than 1% of the people come back. We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years. We're going to give you a court case. You need Perry Mason. We're going to give you a court case. When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe. They never come back. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, they might come back.
Okay, President.
That part right there, family. They don't come back. And every statistic has showed these folks go into, and it's called shadow immigration. These folks show up and then they disappear. And we've seen it. We've seen it. So we ain't got a cap. I want y'all to notice that was supremacy on supremacy, dominant society on dominant society. That was Mayo on Miracle Whip. That's what it is. And family, our role in all of that, our role is to go ahead and exploit that, instigate that, and let it go forth. Because what was being said by Trump benefits foundational Black Americans way more than it benefits anybody else. I want everybody to notice this as well. When you start dealing with immigration, it's been known for years. The toll that immigration takes on our people. We've known it. Everybody knows it. There's been fact after fact proven that foundational Black Americans are the ones who are the most impacted and affected by illegal immigration, by legal immigration. You name it, all the way across the board, family. It does not help us, and everyone knows it. So it's not us loving Donald Trump, because I'm telling you, family, they get mad. Oh, they get mad. They get pissed off. Anytime we ever mention anything about Donald Trump, I want y'all to notice how upset the liberals get. See, the liberals think that they own us anyway. The liberals believe that foundational Black Americans are their property. So they don't like the fact that we out here saying things like, you know, we might go look at Trump. Ain't nobody got to love Trump. You ain't got to love none of these motherfuckers. Only thing you got to do is make sure that when you do vote, if you do vote, make sure that that benefits your people. So if not voting helps us, don't vote. If voting for the other side to piss off that side or to stop open borders, which ultimately comes down on our households the most, then do it. But whatever your plan, your strategy is, it has to be to the point where it helps us and benefits us as a society. And I'm of the ilk, and I don't know who else is, but I know I am. If it pisses off the Democratic plantation, then I salute it. Because it's to the point where the Democratic plantation is going to have to get pissed off. Because we can't just sit back and watch all these buck dancers continuously go down there and put out these policies that affect us in the worst way. So when you see somebody like Donald Trump or anybody else who may have a policy that is going to be anti-immigration, anti-open borders, anti-cutting the barbed wire, then you already know what we got to do. We got to make sure that it benefits us to the most. It's all about winning. Ain't nobody out here playing to play. You don't play to play. You play to win. That's what we got to do, and that's the type of time we on. And if anybody's out there disputing about the effects of immigration on foundational Black Americans, I'm going to send this to Dr. Claude Anderson and let our great master teacher, Dr. Claude Anderson, tell everybody the way that immigration hurts foundational Black Americans. And every single thing that we're living with right now today, family, Dr. Claude called out in this video decades ago. And what we're doing right now, we're calling out decades ahead of us and what we need to do to either stop it or what we need to do if we do not stop it. So at the end of the day, when you can forecast and you can see the next move, you better make it. And that's what we're doing right now. We're going to get in the middle of it. We're going to exploit it. We're going to instigate it. But I guarantee when all the dust settles and the smoke clears, foundational Black Americans will be on top where we belong.
Have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no Black politician, no Black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for Black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4. And the worst part about it is as you descend and go down to number 4, those other groups are going to go up. And as they go past you, you're going to have major racial clashes in this country. You're going to have fights all over this country between Blacks and Hispanics, Blacks and Asians, Blacks and poor whites. And Black folk cannot fight all these groups.
Listen to what he said right there. So much profound salute to our master teacher. The most profound thing he said out of all of that was Blacks cannot fight all these groups. And these groups are willing to team up with each other the same way that all these folks who come south of the border want to come here and team up with the dominant society. Listen to what Dr. Claus says. We cannot fight all these groups. So anybody at the border waving folks in and thinking that somehow helps us, all these fake ass articles that they put out and they try to say that immigration is a Black issue, watch what Dr. Claude Anderson says. Take it from the champ.
You have fights all over this country between Blacks and Hispanics, Blacks and Asians, Blacks and poor whites. And Black folk cannot fight all these groups. Everybody can not always be against Black folk.
That part all the way across the board, family. And this is what we've all been living. What he was doing right there, brothers and sisters, he was telling us about what we've been dealing with and what we've been seeing for a long time, family. That is what's been going on. Brother, Dr. Claude Anderson, our master teacher, was telling us exactly the future. And that's the future that we've been living in. And right now, we're going to go have to change everything, because if not, everything he said is going to come true and we're not going to be able to get back out of it. We're not going to be able to get back out of it. These people come over here, they team up with each other, they click up, they try to get down with the dominant society. Y'all know I'm always saying immigration is about proximity. Don't let nobody tell you that immigration is about anything other than proximity. These folks want to be next to the dominant society, and they will do anything to be next to the dominant society. They do not come over here because the dominant society hurt them in their homeland. The dominant society was mean to them. They come over here because they want to be next to them, and it's been proven. How do you run from your goddamn country, and then you come over here to the country from the person that you was running from? So somebody's trying to rob you across the street, and you run across the street to his house to get away from him. It's a lie. You want to come over here, you want to adapt and adopt to anti-black supremacy, and you want to be an honorary member, aka a mascot or a puppet. That's what it's all about. And this is why you consistently see stories every single day of these folks teaming up with the dominant society. When was the last time anybody out there seen a story with somebody from those people of color communities doing to the dominant society what they've been known to do to us? When was the last time? You don't see it. You don't see it. You see a hell of a lot of stories where these folks come over here and they practice that because, mind you, in their homeland, they are Joe Biden. In their homeland, they are Donald Trump. In their homeland, they are George W. Bush. So they come over here and they try to practice that on us. And mind you, they do not look down on those people who are W complexion. They look up to them. But whenever they come over here, they try to look down on us. And then they really get shook up because we changed the whole game. Folks come to our country and they realize we are the only black people on the planet. I said it. I don't give a damn. All the tethers can get mad. The fleers, the hoppers, the skippers, and jumpers. We are the only black people on the planet that your ass will get a culture shock when you come here. Because you can go over to Africa and they'll bow down to you. You can go over to Asia. They'll bow down to you. You know goddamn well the Blaxicans bowing down. You can go to Cuba. All the dark folks, they could be 100 shades darker than midnight. They're going to bow down. They're not used to seeing black folks who are prideful, who don't take no shit. That's what they're not used to. So when these folks from all these other countries come here, they think that they're going to be dealing with the black folks in Africa. And then they realize, oh, these black folks love themselves here in America. These black folks fight back. These black folks are prideful. What you going to do then? Not a goddamn thing. So when Dr. Claus said that you're going to start seeing all of these attacks and all these people coming after us, family, we've been seeing it every single day. There was a story that just came out about this young, beautiful, foundational black American girl who was assaulted by, guess what? One of these peoples of colors. And you ain't seen not ned person from any community come out and say a goddamn thing about it. So don't let them hit you with the black and brown. Don't let them hit you with the minorities. We all can get along. Hell to the no, they didn't. They come over here, they bring that spite, that jealousy, and that envy with them, and then they try to come at foundational black Americans. Watch this, family.
11-year-old Trinity Washington prepares for a second surgery this week.
My eye is in so much pain. My eye and my nose.
Sunday night, the girl had emergency surgery on her eye. She and her mother say the injuries happened after neighbors hosting a Mexican Independence Day celebration used a racial slur against the African-American family.
Listen to that. Listen to the celebration they was having. Was they coming over here having an American celebration? Was they coming over here having the people of color and can't we all get along celebration? Or are they in our homeland, our country, celebrating their homeland? And what's the first thing they did? They come after this young sister from our continent. Check it out.
A Mexican Independence Day celebration used a racial slur against the African-American family.
That word shouldn't be used towards us. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be used towards anybody. Nobody should use that word because that's a bad word.
A few minutes later, two women allegedly attacked the girl when she didn't move her 3-month-old Yorkie out of their way.
Two women attacked the girl. Woman, girl. Woman, girl. That is a child. So these folks come over here and we've seen it and they practice anti-black racism on elders, on adults in their prime, and they do it on our children. You see it. So let's get the facts straight and let's put it on the table. There were some folks having a celebration at their house representing their community, the same community that Sleepy Joe told us we need to go help them. The same community that Sleepy Joe said we need 11 million of them, and they's good to people. Now, family, did we not just see Donald Trump telling us that them folks don't always come over here and be the goods? And I guarantee you, trust me when I tell you this, I guarantee you, family, that half of those people at that party were not even here legally. They were having that. I've seen it. I've been down there. I'm telling you, They'll have these parties, these get-togethers, these goddamn quinceañeras or whatever the fuck. They'll have these things, and 90% of the damn people there ain't even from America. They're going to swim right over that goddamn water. Trust me when I tell you. And what do? They come over here and they start throwing slurs at our young sister.
The 6th grade honor student and cheer captain named her puppy Barbie. Washington and her mom say Barbie was stepped on by one of the women but survived.
Listen what she said. The damn dog got stepped on. These folks stepped on a goddamn little dog. When we say this and we call it out, they look at us like we crazy and they start trying to run that divisive. We ain't divisive, we real. They not only came over here and attacked an 11-year-old young girl, they came over here and they stepped on the dog. Now, when we sit back and people say, well, man, I'm Trump, man, I don't care about no damn Donald Trump. If he gonna close that goddamn border and prevent people like this or their families, their aunties, uncles, cousins, 3rd, 4th, 5th on their mama side from coming, I'm all for it.
Say Barbie was stepped on by one of the women but survived. Then they say the aggressors targeted Washington.
I looked up. A bottle came towards my face, being thrown to my face.
11-year-old.
Family. Tell me that we ain't on one when we call that out. Tell me, was that all the love that they talk about, family? Was that all the love that I be hearing? See, you got to play chess, all right? You got to play chess out here in these streets, all right? All the emotion got to stop. All the emotion got to stop. All this stuff, we going to be cools and we trying to solve all this. Nah, no. Now, mind you, that's in Texas, and then George Zimmerman was in Florida. And what do both of those have in common? You have a grown-ass person of color who harmed a young Black American. While at the same time, the Democratic Party is running around here trying to tell us, well, you know, we need to get along now. It's a Black issue. We need to support all these folks. No, you don't. You ain't got to be nothing but Black and excellent, and you ain't got to do nothing but go for reparations and not vote for any of these people who actively, openly work against us, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're openly working against us. There is no Black and brown coalition. There's only the Black and brown no-alition. And make sure you put the no in there. No meaning it does not exist at all, never have, never will. And we know that. And no matter how many times they try to tell us what we saying ain't real, we know it's real, and we're going to continue to call it out. And this is why we got to affect these folks on the voter box, and during election season, we got to let them all know that foundational Black Americans ain't going for none of the games. Foundational Black Americans ain't playing, and Jimmy Crow, Sleepy Joe, he's got to be the main one that we sit back and we watch as the Democratic plantation goes all the way down. Because mind you, this is the same person who wrote the 1994 crime bill. Speaking of the 1994 crime bill that they try to hide, they try to act like didn't exist. I got a little clip right here that I put together, and this is of Sleepy Joe, and they asked him, did you feel ashamed about writing the 1994 crime bill? And I want y'all to go ahead and hear what he says. Now, mind you, everybody was running around here trying to say, well, you know, we don't really know how it was, and it could have been different. They made all these excuses, right, family? Okay, listen to Joe Biden himself tell everybody how he feels about the 1994 crime bill. And it's what we knew he'd say, because he is an anti-Black supremacist from 1864.
About how perspectives change over time. Bobby Rush, member of Congress, said the other day, I'm ashamed that I voted for the 94 crime bill. You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all.
You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all.
You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. And in fact, I drafted the bill, as you remember.
I know that.
And by the way, we talk about this mostly in terms of Black Lives Matter. Black lives really do matter. But the problem is institutional racism in America.
Freeze. Y'all heard that right there. Are you ashamed of that bill? Not at all. Not at all. Straight up. He straight up said it. Look at that. Hey, y'all know I be killing it with these goddamn freeze frames. Look at that. Look at that freeze frame right there, family. Look at that face. You see the supremacy leaking all out? That's him talking about the 1994 crime bill. That's him talking about the crime bill that he wrote that ripped the families apart. Family, last week we screenshotted Kamala Harris looking like she was having some fun with Willie Brown. Can somebody in the chat please screenshot that for me right there and send it to my DMs so we can post that? Look at the supremacy just popping all out his pores. Look at that right there. That is exactly what we be talking about. Let me make that big for everybody. Is that somebody who really cares? Is that somebody who's Uncle Joe? Is that somebody that they try to tell us all the time is a friend that Black folks is going to vote for 90+%? That the Black community has my back? Is that it? That man is smiling, saying, I don't give a fuck about the 1994 crime bill. I don't give a damn what it did. I don't give a damn what happened to y'all families. It is what it is. That ain't no remorse, family. That ain't no remorse. That right there is your typical anti-black supremacist. Right there, you see it. That's the real Joe Biden. That's Sleepy Joe Biden. That's Jim Crow Joe. And it pop out every single time you see it. Goddamn, I be cold with these damn freeze frames. Family, I don't even set this up. All I do is just hit pause and get to working, family. Y'all know I go 100 million miles an hour, all gas, no brakes. But it's funny how things work. It's funny the way things play out. You see that right there, family. That right there, exactly. It's a happy racist. That's somebody who is absolutely positively content with what he did. The same thing and the same energy that had him writing that bill is the same energy that got him smiling about that bill. He don't give a fuck, 2 fucks, 1 fuck, 3 fucks. He wrote that bill with the blessing of all the buck dancers, the Democratic Party, because the same plan that he had for all of those immigrants that we seen jumping over the border, the 11 million that they said are coming here, and the same folks at that party that harmed that little 11-year-old girl and stepped on her dog. He wrote all of that for them. And that's what it was all about. Anti-black policies so he can serve the Democratic plantation and supremacy. That part. But he wasn't done yet. Watch him now. Turn around. And he says how America ain't a racist country. Now, mind you, family, this was not that long ago when he said this. But he turned around and the whole Democratic plantation tried to hide this. You have to go find this video. I had to search. I had to do extensive research to find this video coming up because they tried to swipe it. Because they know that it's the real Jim Crow Joe Biden that foundational Black Americans been calling out from day one. Watch it.
About this mostly in terms of Black Lives Matter. Black lives really do matter. But the problem is institutional racism in America. The problem is institutional racism in America.
The speech last night, I watched the address, and then I watched the rebuttal from the junior senator of South Carolina last night, Tim Scott. He said, among other things, America isn't racist. Is it?
No, I don't think the American people are racist. I don't think the American people are racist. I don't think the American people are racist. But I think after 400 years, African Americans have been left in a position where they are so far behind the 8 ball in terms of education, health, in terms of opportunity. I don't think America's racist, but I think the overhang from all of the Jim Crow and before that slavery have.
Whoa, hell no. Watch him say that it's about supremacy, and then he turns around and says it ain't about supremacy.
Matter. But the problem is institutional racism in America. The problem is institutional racism in America.
The speech last night, I watched the address, and then I watched the rebuttal from the junior senator of South Carolina last night, Tim Scott. He said, among other things, America isn't racist. Is it?
No, I don't think the American people are racist. I don't think.
Wait a minute. You just said it's about institutional racism. You just said it's about institutional racism. Now you're saying, I don't think the American people are racist. Which one is it? Family, these folks have no shame. And when you deal with a spineless person, you get spineless results. And that's exactly what it is. He's flip-flopping all over the place according to his own logic and the Democratic Shield logic. And mind you, that logic is always rooted in anti-blackness. So he's flip-flopping right then and there. And they tried to hide all of that footage, family. I'm telling you. And that was just from a year ago. So on one end, he's telling us he doesn't feel that the American people are racist. But then he also told us that everything that we deal with is based upon anti-black supremacy. Family, stop playing in these streets. Y'all know what type of time it is. We know what type of time it is, and we're going to continue to put them facts on the table. Shout out to our good sister, Nikki the God. Appreciate you, sister, for this. Everybody, this right here is the freeze frame. Check that out. That right there is somebody who seeps of anti-black racism and is proud of it. And everything that has ever happened to any foundational Black American, he loves it. He condones it. He wishes for it and he hopes for it. That's why he wrote the 1994 crime. But look at that face. You cannot hide. One thing about a camera, it's going to catch every single thing that you do. And that right there caught it. You literally see 4 of them. You see the shit popping out. There's like 6 of them going every goddamn direction. So you already see the type of time that he on. Screenshot of the year. We breaking our own records. Had one last week. Got this You know, got this week on lock. Goddamn, I'm sorry, fam. I'm staring at this damn picture and it's Halloween coming, family, because y'all already know what type of time that man is on. Salute to you, Nikki, for that one. Family, we're going to proceed when you start talking about this guy. Now, mind you, I told y'all that he's 100 million years old. He old as hell. We all know it. We all see it. But everything that he's ever done when it comes to us, it's never been good. It's never been good. He runs around and he has this open vitriol for foundational Black Americans that the Democrats have been trying to cover up. Now, I know Halloween is coming, so he got on his little anti-Black fake suit that he's trying to play, but it ain't done. Did y'all see just the other day when this man was talking and he had the nerve to call LL Cool J boy? But you know, right here on the Black Alpha Network, certified salute, y'all smash that like button. I tend to go and dig a little deep, and I try to see some other times that he said it. Because mind you, we always tell people this ain't the first time and it won't be the last time. So when you see how many times this man has called a Black person boy, then you already know what it is. So not only did we see that evil smile popping out and 6 or 7 different goddamn evil spirits coming from him, we also see this man calling us boy. We also see him saying illegal aliens are Americans. And we also see that smile that tells everybody that whatever goes down with us, he condones it and he supports it. Watch this, family, right here. This is him again, just this week, fresh off the press. This is him going down the line and how many times he's tried to call a Black person boy. Now, let me say this before I go. Everybody knows that whenever he says these type of things, the Democratic shields come out and they try to clean it up. So they was trying to come and clean this up. But how you gonna clean up open supremacy when you call a Black person boy? You can't. Check it out.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started. If that's okay with you all. And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on, and I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well. Man, boy who knows Louisiana very, very well. Boy who knows Louisiana very, very well. Man, got a hell of a new governor in Westmore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looked like he can still play. He got some guns on him. You got a hell of a new governor in Westmore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looked like he can still play. The groundbreaking legacy of hip hop in America, LLJ Cool J.
Wait, LLJ Cool J? So now here comes Dementia Joe kicking in, okay? LLJ Cool J. A damn 2-year-old know how to say LL Cool J. But you see, here come again the buck talk. See, this is Massa talking about a buck. Notice he's making these very strange buck broken plantation things about people's arms and their legs and their thighs. A bunch of weird buck broken language is coming from Master Joe. But here comes boy again. You can't hide it. When you know it, you know it.
By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think
he tried to flip it too. He said that man. So whenever they try to say, oh, he didn't know or he had to slip up, how'd he try to correct it so fast? He only tried to correct it because he knew he had that goddamn supremacist outburst. And then he was like, well, I mean, man, so you couldn't even get LL Cool J right. You said every single goddamn letter. He threw numbers in there. This motherfucker LL6J, 5J. He couldn't get that right, but then he tries to flip around and say man real quick, and then he goes back to talking about arms and legs and thighs. Family, have y'all ever heard him talk about someone from the dominant society like this? Or is it only Black men? So I told y'all, this man is 237 years old. I might be wrong. He might be 337 years old because he's talking straight slavery talk. This man, through his dementia, through his Alzheimer's, went back to the plantation and he's having visualizations of the buck plantations that he came from. Listen again.
By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's an MC Light, both of you. Thank you. Because they both have the light off on the mic, you know you're all here to listen to the new edition. Mike Bivens, 40 years producing music that lifts our soul.
First off, why do we consistently see the Democratic Party trying to talk to us about hip hop. If I want to have a hip hop conversation with anybody on the goddamn planet, it is not going to be the Democrats, especially not Joe Biden at all. No way. So you see it again. Look what he just did right there, family. He said Michael Bivin and MC Light and all these other people. Now, I hate to say this and I hate to go there, but I have to. When you start tap dancing for the Democratic plantation, I got to call you out. MC Light, she ran. Oh, she put on that massa dance quick as possible. Now, we just seen he called this guy boy, another person boy. He started naming body parts. He's like, you got a back and an arm and a leg. And it reminded me of my legs and arms. He started naming all types of things, right? So check this dude out, family. Not only does he sit there and make these statements about black men and boy and all that kind of stuff, he then turns around and he has all the Democratic shills that came out and started caping for him. One of those Democratic shills being MC Light. LL Cool J, he been real quiet. Because remember, y'all, LL Cool J, he was the one coming out here making that song a few years ago talking about accidental racist. And he got that damn blowback. So he like, nah, I ain't going to say nothing. He been sitting this one out. But man, family, I'm telling y'all, MC Light, she came running to the defense of Master Joe so goddamn fast, and we got the receipts all day long. You cannot sit there and tell us when someone calls this person boy, boy, and boy, never do it with anybody else, but then try to tell us that what we see, we ain't just see, what we heard, we ain't just hear. Watch this right here, family, and listen to these bullshit ass excuses coming from MC Light. I can't go for it, can't stand it, and we got to pull out the receipts. If you get to tap dancing, don't get mad when we get to regulating. She said, in regard to the recent occurrence during the Congressional Congressional Coon Buck Dancing Caucus Phoenix Awards, why I do not condone any disrespect of any kind, especially to a black man we all love and hold in high regard. I must say, so basically she's saying, but I got to make an excuse for Massa. She says, I must say, I was actually there, and I do not believe President Biden's comments were malintended. He made a mistake I'm sure he regrets. Rewind. Let me catch this one, family. Let me work. So she says, this is according to MC Light. She says, I was there. So since I was there, then, you know, it doesn't matter. Family, do you have to have been there to hear him call somebody boy? Do we have to be there when we see a goddamn supremacist harm a black person? Do we have to be like right there in the building, or does it speak for itself? I'm telling you, they try to tell us that we didn't just see what we just saw, we didn't hear what we just heard. They didn't mean what they just meant. That man called them boy. And we gave 3 different instances, and she's still coming out making excuses. It's the same people who made excuses for him when it came to the 94 crime bill. It's the same people who make excuses for the you ain't black, to hell with y'all, and all the other anti-black tropes that he's been spitting out literally for 50 years. It's always an excuse. People always make excuses for this man, and they escort him right down into the community. He gets invited to the cookout. Joe Biden has been getting invited to the cookout for years. And now that we regulating not only him, but every goddamn escort that brings him in here, they got problems. So she's trying to tell us we didn't just hear him say that. We heard it, we seen it, we watched it. And not only that, we provided 3 other receipts of him doing the same thing. What happens in the dark comes to light, and you know what go on behind closed doors. So MC Light or MC any goddamn body, MC goddamn Coon, I don't care who you are. You're not going to tell foundational black Americans we didn't just see that. You're not going to tell foundational black Americans that we need to leave your massa alone. He may be your massa, but to us, he's just another 477-year-old supremacist. You've seen one, you've seen them all. So she says, I was actually there. Notice she put actually in there. And that's kind of like a dig at us, saying, well, you know, I was there. You guys weren't. So she's talking down to black folks, right? She says, I do not believe President Biden's comments were malintended. Once again, the I do not believe, they said the same exact thing when he said you ain't black, or I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle, or black kids ain't as smart as W kids. The same thing. I do not believe. It's the same excuses, family. You heard one, you heard them all, and we regulated each and every time. She said he made a mistake. A mistake I'm sure he regrets. If he made a mistake, family, then how come he never repeats this mistake with anybody of another color? You've never heard him make this same mistake when he's talking about somebody from another community. How come all these anti-black excuses are only given after he said something anti-black to us? It ain't never when he said that about the people of color. He don't ever say that to the minorities. He damn sure don't say that about the dominant society. How come the mistakes are only with black people? I'll tell you why. Because there ain't no goddamn mistakes. He was doing this deliberately, and we all seen it. She said, one of my most fond memories is that of being in the presence of my elders when they make a mistake with the name, sometimes even my own. Listen to this. So now she's comparing our elders to Master Joe. She's saying basically, you know, black elders, our grandparents, sometimes they mess up. And if he did the same thing grandmas did, it ain't that bad. This woman is literally using our ancestors and our elders against us so she can put on the cape for Master Joe. I'm telling you right now, shameless, spineless. This is the type of extent that they're willing to go to so they can serve massa. That's why when we say they tap dance, they be tap dancing. When they be chasing that butter biscuit banjo, they got it out. And MC Light, she must have transitioned away from hip hop to playing that goddamn banjo, because that's exactly what she's doing right now. Saying, well, you know, Grandpa, he forgets sometimes, and, you know, we got to forgive him. And let me say this too. So if Grandpa makes mistakes and messes up names, and you're saying Grandpa's old, so you're saying that Joe Biden's too old. Now, if I told that same person, MC Light, that Joe Biden was too damn old to run for president, she'd come with a whole nother list of excuses. Well, no, he ain't that old. You basically said he got dementia, and he don't know names. And let's get this right too. Messing up LL Cool J's name is different than messing up his adulthood, okay? She's trying to mix the two of them, but we ain't going for that. We see it. You can sit there all day long and you can say, well, you know, he messed up LLJ Cool or whatever the hell he called him. That's one thing, all right? If somebody's name is Chris and you call him John, somebody's name is Marcus, you call him Michael, we can live with that. He said a grown-ass man was a boy. The same way he said another grown-ass man was a boy, and another grown-ass man was a boy, and he don't want his kids in a black racial jungle. He don't want busing. He don't want black folks going to his schools. He wants to write a 1994 crime bill. When does it get to the point where this man has so many anti-black statements, receipts laid on the table that you got some real courage and call it out? Never. You can't win with the Democrats. You cannot win with the Democratic Party or Democratic shields. She's willing to throw our elders under the bus so she can cape for Master Joe. The same Master Joe that would lock up all her elders and will lock her ass up in the process. This is what we mean, and she wasn't even done, family. It gets even further because now she starts to bring in religion and spirituality. She says, if I cannot just get these black folks on board with bullshit excuses, let me get them on board with some spirituality. She said, I pray that we will pay more attention to the historic importance of this moment than the eras that were made in it. What historic? What was historic about him saying boy? How's it historic when he done said it 100 times? Ain't nothing historic about that. That was simply Master Joe saying more anti-black sentiments, point blank. She said, what we should all spend time focusing. Now she's telling us what to think. She's telling us what we should do. That is Democratic shield. They always talk to us like we owe them something. They always talk to us as if we got to give them something. She said we should all spend time focusing on other things. For the first time in history, both the president and vice president of the United States together have acknowledged, embraced, and publicly shown their love and appreciation for a monumental achievement in hip hop. Bullshit. First off, why you need to be acknowledged from massa? We seeing everything that we need to see about you, MC Light. We seeing every single thing that we need to see about you, MC Light. It ain't got nothing to do with acknowledgement. It ain't got nothing to do with friends, Publix, Hip Hop 50. And it's to the point now where we all know Hip Hop 50 is just a big ass grift. That's all it is. Anybody running around here trying to uphold Hip Hop 50, that is just a code word to bring in everybody else. And it's also a code word for Master Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and everybody else to get in on what we have created, to get in on our culture and to rewrite it. It's been a big ass grip. So no, we don't need no acknowledgement from Master Joe. That once again may be your master homegirl, but it ain't ours. We don't need none of that. And at the end of that statement, she basically told us why she did it. She did it because she wants to acknowledge her favorite person. She wants to acknowledge massa. She's telling you, so if we can translate it, family, what she's really saying is that I live on the Democratic plantation, and I want you to live on the Democratic plantation. The Democratic plantation is where I reside, and I want all black folks to reside on the Democratic plantation. It ain't no fun unless the Shields can have some. And that right there exposed it, and it exposed every single thing that MC Light and all the other Shields have been out here doing. You cannot run. You cannot hide. Certified will get you all the goddamn time. We got more receipts, family. So MC Light, first off, salute to MC Light. But your ass on the corner like it's trash day. You can't come around the Black Grassroots Society no more. No longer, family, are we going to allow people to talk that bullshit and then come around and say, what's up, big head? Hey, what y'all got popping over here? What's up, dog? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. If you come around our community talking that nonsense, then we got to treat you that way. Too many times are people coming around us and they trying to make it look like they down, and then they start caping, and then they start trying to run the game. We ain't going for none of that. But I do know one thing, family. Before I go, let me stop this real quick. We got 500 people in here. We got the most popping live. I need everybody to subscribe now to the Foundational Black American Certified Black Society, Black Grassroots, Black Alpha Network. One love. I appreciate everybody. Y'all know I love y'all with a passion. And we typically do this in the beginning of the show. But before we go into roast number 100, I need all of y'all to tell me where you at right now, where you tapping in from. Give me that FBA roll call. I want to see every single city, every single town. Throw your state, throw your county. It don't matter. Let's represent and represent hard, because the type of energy that we put out in the world is the type of energy that stops that tap dancing, cooning ass shit that MC Light was doing and everybody else. We got 500 in here. 5. We working, we building, we shining, we grinding. So salute to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We working. We out here really in the streets. We out here really trying to build the community. And if they harm our young black brothers and sisters, I promise you, we going to be there and we going to hold them down. They harm our elders, I promise you, we going to be there to hold them down. No longer will anybody disrespect our lineage. This is the era of the foundational Black American. It will go down in history as us. I'm talking about Detroit. Shout out to the 313. I see you all day, every day. GA in the building. Yes, indeed. Macon, Georgia. I see you. We throwing counties in here. We deep up in this spot. Charlotte, North Carolina. What up? What up? What up? Arkansas in the building. DC. I see you. Dallas, Texas. I see you. FBA all goddamn day. This is what we do. Whenever we put out this energy, this is how we change things. This is how we do it. You don't change nothing by just sitting back. We can point out all these off-code people, but that don't mean nothing. That don't get things done. It gets done by us literally not just speaking truth to power, but translating that power and delivering it. And the only way foundational Black Americans know how to deliver it is real, to the point, straight to the point. And that's what's got everybody out here. We couldn't even have these conversations 10 years ago, because 10 years ago, too many people was off-code and tap dancing. But not only do we have them now, not only do we represent it now, right now we do it and the whole goddamn world is watching. So what they know about that. So I need every member of Foundational Black America, all my people, Brooklyn, I see you. Shout out Cleveland, I see you. Louisville, Kentucky, Fort Worth, Texas. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I see everybody in the place. Make sure you subscribe and share this video, because we are going to bring an end to all of the people on the Democratic plantation, Shields included, and we're going to bring an end to all the buck dancing caucus and anybody who openly works against us. And we're going to do it, family. Why? Because we can. That's why. This is the era of us doing whatever the hell we want to do. And if they don't like it, they can move on out the goddamn paint. Now, back to it. Let me continue this roast, family, because not only do we see that Joe Biden and all the Democratic Shields like to flip things up, watch the way they flip things up, family, when they start talking about other groups. Watch the way they flip things up when they start speaking on us, and then they turn around and they start speaking on people from other communities. You can literally hear the energy shift whenever they start talking about us, and then when they start talking about people that they love, you see it different. Watch Master Joe in the building right here saying the same exact thing. Shout out to Atlanta while we in the process. Watch this, family. This is Master Joe flip-flopping all over the place again.
First, we put in place policies that process people in a fair and fast way.
This is him talking about people at the Hispanic caucus. Yes, he pulled up to the Hispanic caucus. And while he's talking about people at the Hispanic caucus, he flips up and he throws us in there. I ain't lying. Watch it.
Second,
We're significantly expanding legal pathways for entry so businesses can get the workers they need. Families don't have to wait for a decade to be together. I've also directed my team to make historic increase in the number of refugees admitted from Latin America. People fleeing violence and persecution who simply want their kids to have a better life. Next week, my team will consult with Congress on this plan. Third, we're supporting states and cities that have seen a surge in immigrants. We've developed federal experts and deployed them to help train city workers.
Check this out.
Historic increase in the number.
A historic increase. Watch what he says. And then he says flee. So when we say flee, they get mad. He says flee.
I've also directed my team to make a historic increase in the number of refugees admitted from Latin America. People fleeing violence and persecution who simply want their kids to have a better life. Next week, my team will consult with Congress on this plan. Third, we're supporting states and cities that have seen a surge in immigrants. We've developed federal experts and deployed them to help train city workers.
Notice, family, everything he said he was going to do. In fact, did y'all hear boy anywhere in there? Did y'all see him say, and the boys who come here? He didn't say boy then. He was very, very cautious and careful what he said. He said it very, very precise. He ain't say nothing about boy. He ain't say nothing about any of that. He was very, very clear. And he was talking about what? He was talking about giving them benefits and tangibles and money. The same benefits, tangibles, and money that they say they do not have for us. That was him talking to the Hispanics when he went to their caucus. Mind you, we got a caucus that works against us. They work with them. Notice everything he was saying. I want y'all to notice this as well. We got receipts. The videos don't stop 100 miles an hour. Watch him right here tell us that same plan. He says that they will own this country. That same erasure that we speak of, watch him admit it here.
He'll tell you how it helped to safely reopen our schools, an absolute necessity, including 28% of public school students who are Latino. 28%. You're all going to own the country, man. We better darn well make sure they have every opportunity they have.
Whoa.
You're all going to own the country, man. You're all going to own the country, man. You're all going to own the country, man. We better darn well make sure they have every opportunity they have. Not a joke.
Not a joke. We got to make sure they got every opportunity, and y'all going to own the country. That's what he said right then and there. I don't give a damn who tries to come out and tell us we ain't hear it. We heard it. And that is the same thing when you see Shermer coming out talking about 11 millions. And that's the same thing when he was coming out talking about we're going to bring all these different people in and y'all can come in and y'all technically are already Americans. They can't lie to us. You ain't got to lie to kick it. That's the old term, family. You ain't got to lie to kick it. If y'all old enough to remember that one, that's the one right there. And that's what they've been trying to run on us for the longest amount of time. And we ain't going for it, not at all. So remember, this started off with the you ain't black. And then you ain't black turned into what? You ain't black turned into we going to bring in all these other people and we ain't going to do nothing for y'all. This is what we mean when we say that they openly, actively work against us. And at the end of the day, they will always try to have some type of hustle or con game when it comes to foundational Black Americans. But not only that, family, I want y'all to notice how he tries to crowbar every other community into our reparations claim. Did y'all see that video that came out a couple years ago when they were talking about reparations? And he said, I support reparations as long as Indians get it. Well, if you haven't seen it, here we go right here. Now, when he was just talking to that other group, he didn't say nothing about sharing. He didn't say nothing about helping anybody else. When he was talking to them, it was, this is for y'all. Y'all gonna own the country. Watch what he says when he starts talking about foundational Black Americans and our reparations claim. Checkmate. Watch this, family. This right here is your typical Massa Joe.
Far behind in being wealthy in this country. The wealth of a white family is 7 times that of a Black family.
That's exactly right.
I know you've said before that you want to see studies, that you weren't necessarily ready to say you were for reparations, but you'd be willing to at least look at studies. There are a lot of people who suggested that these studies have been going on for a mighty long time, and why not say now whether you would be for reparations or not?
I know it has to be done now, and you know it too. Let's not wait. Let's do the study and decide whether it should be direct cash payment. But in the meantime, you know it has to be done. We know now. For example, if in fact the homes of African Americans that are the same housing that white Americans have were valued at the same rate, there'd be $154 billion more equity in black homes. That's how most white people and everyone else builds equity, builds cash, builds access to pass things on. We have to change that. We have to change the way in which we deal with access to housing. We have to change the way in which we allow people to be able to get in and purchase housing in the first instance. We have to. And these are things we can do, and we can do it. And by the way, right now, we can change the education system overnight.
Notice he ain't talking about reparations no more. Watch how he tried to run that reverse psychology. It starts off with, we need it. We need reparations. We need to. But we need to focus on this and that and that and that over there. He's trying to run Ed Gordon in a circle. He wants Ed Gordon to forget the question. Y'all ever talk to somebody and you press them with a question and then they bring up everything other than what you talked about with the hopes that you forget and they can just walk away? That's what he's trying to do. That is supremacy. They play both sides of the argument. They talk out of both sides of the neck, and they're hoping that Ed Gordon forgets it, but he doesn't. And then Ed Gordon presses him. It's like, listen, fuck all that. What about reparations for black Americans? Answer it specifically. The same way he couldn't answer specifically about who built those cages when Donald Trump was questioning him is the same way he can't answer specifically about reparations when Gordon was questioning him.
I've been proposing for a long time now. We should have Title I schools that have very low tax bases in their communities. We should go from $15 billion a year to 45, which we can do overnight. Increase the salaries of teachers to $60,000 a year. They're 23% paid less than everybody else.
What the hell that got to do with the question? What the hell does that have to do with the question about reparations, Sleepy Joe?
Graduating from school, get them in a position where every single child in that community is able to, and they're not just African Americans, is able to go to school, not just foundational black Americans. See, he slipped into All Lives Matter. I'm telling you, you got to watch it because they'll slide in All Lives Matter very, very quick. They'll be like education, taxes, 2.0, 9.7, 18.5, all people, Black Lives Matter, everyone in the world. You got to watch it. Not go to daycare, school, 3, 4, and 5 years old in school. Every study of the last 8 years of all the great universities shows that will increase by over 55% their ability to go all the way through all 12 years. We should be finding
and we should
free
note we
access
can find that
to
on we can find that on Biden.com, but I'm not sure what your answer is to the reparations question.
If in fact there are ways in which to get direct payments for reparations, I want to see it. But why are we waiting around for the study? We can deal with it.
Well, they're not mutually exclusive. You don't have to wait around for the study.
Exclusive.
That's my point.
No, but they look, they're not mutually exclusive. But I can't believe that whatever it is, the African American community would not support what I'm talking about. In addition to,
I don't think we have to. Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this so we can move on because we've got to get some phone calls in as well. But let me ask you this then. If in fact a calculation comes to you that you are satisfied with, would you then say, I'm for reparations?
The answer is it would depend on what it was and will it include Native Americans as well?
Native Americans as well? Whoa. One more time. Appreciate Gordon for questioning him and putting him in the corner. Listen.
What I'm talking about. In addition to,
I don't think we have to. Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. So we can
look how mad he is. Wait a minute. Whoa. Look at his face, family. There he goes. He's kicking into that Master Joe, getting angry. He wasn't angry and he was talking to the folks at that Hispanic caucus.
Get some phone calls in as well. But let me ask you this.
No, but they look, they're not mutually exclusive. But I can't believe that whatever it is, the African American community would not support what I'm talking about. In addition to,
I don't think we have to. Let me ask you this then.
Look how mad he is. Look at his face, family. He pissed. You know what he want to say? He want to say, boy, how dare you question me? I'm Master Joe. I need you to bow down like MC Light, like Roland Martin, like Jim Clyburn. I am your master. I am a Democrat because the Democrats feel they own black people. And the fact that Gordon ain't going for that, He's cutting off Joe and he's sticking to the question. That's what's got him mad. That's the real Jim Crow. That's the same Jim Crow that you seen a minute ago with all that shit popping out his face with that evil ass smile. That's him. And that's what happens whenever a black person questions him, but he never has that smoke for the people of color, for the minorities, or for all the biops in the world. Never does.
Let me ask you this so we can move on because we've got to get some phone calls in as well. But let me ask you this then. If in fact a calculation comes to you that you are satisfied with, would you then say, I'm for reparations?
The answer is it would depend on what it was and will it include Native Americans as well.
All right, let me see if I can get Abba to get us a quick.
Notice how Gordon just put his head down and said, this motherfucker lying. Notice that, family. See, Gordon know what he was doing. Gordon was like, nah, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And he knows right there, he could have questioned him more. But he said, this man gonna front. This man ain't gonna speak the truth. This man gonna lie as long as we allow him to lie. So he said, we just gonna go ahead and move on. We gonna move on because this dude has got his mind made up. He throws in Native Americans, family, and we all know, everyone knows, that the Native Americans have received all types of reparations, and they've been receiving them for the longest. Do not hit us with the damn Native Americans. That's that same thing that Jane Elliott lady was doing. Y'all remember when Jane Elliott was saying, I support reparations if you give it to the Indians? Y'all remember that? And a lot of black folks, Jada Pinkett, they was out here loving some Jane Elliott. And Jane Elliott ain't nothing but the female version of Joe Biden. A 538-year-old supremacist. She's just the woman and he's just the man. They always try to hit us with the whole pivot about the Native Americans when these folks got all types of reparations. They can police themselves. They go to college for free, and he knows that. And everyone knows that. And the very fact that he's trying to run that gambit, hustle, con game, scheme, and scam on us lets you know you cannot work with no Democrat. And anybody who literally wants to go and vote for the Democratic Party is out of their goddamn mind, and they are openly ops of our community. It's got to get to the point that voting for somebody with that type of position is actually you going against the lineage, the heritage, and the culture, and you have to be treated as such. Bottom line, point blank, period. This man gave every single answer other than the answer to the question that was asked. As soon as it bottomed out, he says, well, what about the Indians? Matter of fact, he didn't just say, what about the Indians? He said, I'll give it to you if you include the Indians. Did he say anything about I'll give it to you when it came to all them folks jumping over the border? Did he say it then? Nope. When he was just talking at that Spanish caucus, did he say anything about sharing? All them hate crime laws that he writes for them other communities? Does he ever say, if y'all give it to FBA? I ain't not one time in the political discourse of the United States of America heard one politician ever talk to a group and say, we'll give it to you if you give it to FBA. But it's always FBA, y'all can only get it if you give it to everybody. They don't just tell us that we got to give it to one group or two groups. They tell us we literally have to share with the whole goddamn world, while these other groups never share with us. And we're the ones who brought them to this country, and we're the ones who put them in the position to even do what they're doing. So that shows you the mentality, the thought process of every single Democrat. You cannot separate them. I don't want to hear about this one's kind of cool and this one's kind of this. It's the plantation. If somebody's working on the plantation and they the master of the plantation, do you think the person who's just out there hanging out on the front porch is any better? Or does he represent the whole goddamn plantation? That's what Master Joe is, and anybody who follows or supports that's the same thing. Look at the Ukraine. Look at the Ukraine right now, family. They're openly giving money to the Ukraine. As we talking right now, they probably done cut a check for another $1 billion to the Ukraine, putting them all on the front line. Every single other group who comes to this country gets money. Foundational Black Americans ain't got a penny. Family, they have not given us a penny. We out here trying to get reparations. They haven't even started with a penny. A penny. Goddamn, don't even get to a nickel, a quarter, or a dime. They ain't gave us a penny, but all these other groups are getting it by the billions. Okay, they skipping hundreds, thousands, millions. They going to the billions, but yet they want foundational Black Americans to share. Now, mind you, not only do these people take what's ours, these people also get their own stuff. So they get what foundational Black Americans deserve, and then they turn around and get things that they don't deserve that we can't have. So they're getting it from all sides, and that's what Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about. where all these groups are going to come into the country. They're going to eat off of foundational Black Americans, and then they're going to try to steal from foundational Black Americans. Y'all know the game, and we are the only people who can do something about it. Trust me, we will not win with the Democratic Party. We will not win with the Republicans. We will not win with any of these fake-ass politicians that are not from the Black grassroots. Root work. I'm talking about cement, rock solid. We're the only ones who can do something about it. This era, this generation, this time, this day, all my certified brothers, all my certified sisters, the whole world and everything revolves around us. It's all our game, family. Because if we don't put a stop to this nonsense, you already know what's going to happen. All right? A blind man can see what they're trying to do to foundational Black Americans. Okay? But foundational Black Americans in this generation ain't going for it. We went from the yes we can era to the hell to the no era. And in this hell to the no era, none of that shit works. We can call him out. We can call out Collard Green Kamala, Barack Obama, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. We can call out the whole plantation, Roland Martin, Jim Clyburn, Broken Buck, Kari Sellers, Van Nessa Jones. We got a whole list of their asses. MC Light. But at the end of the day, what we say is going to go, and what they say ain't going to pop. It's going to fall all the way back. So when you're dealing with a guy who's 999 years old, family, he started off this episode, he's probably like 300. Now he's reaching to the 900s. By the time we done, family, he going to be in the thousands. That's just what it is. Nothing works with this dude. And notice, you didn't see all that fumbling, stumbling, and bumbling. No, he was very clear because he can't remember anything in his life except for anti-Black racism. You ask this man the most simple questions, he can't solve them. You ask him something about Black people, all of a sudden it starts to click. He is literally on supremacist autopilot. And when I say that he is 985 years old, I mean it. He is 985 years old. Why do you think they hide in his birth certificate? Because it goes back to the goddamn dawn of the day. This man should not even be president right now. And there's been a lot of people saying he's too old to be president, Mr. Magoo. So when you start seeing some of his gaffes and you start watching them, y'all know we all been sitting here saying the lights is on, but ain't nobody home. Something ain't right upstairs with Jimmy Crow Joe. This man is way too old. And I don't want to hear that this man is 80. 80's old enough. But family, y'all know Donald Trump and him is about the same age. Listen to how Donald Trump talks. And then listen to how Jim Crow Joe Biden talks. I got an 80-year-old woman in my neighborhood. She walks every single day. Can sit down and you can have a whole conversation. All that bullshit MC Light was talking about our elders, they mess up too. So do we. Man, fuck that. We know who is all the way there upstairs, and we know who done left. Jim Crow Joe Biden, this man done fell up the stairs. This man done fell down the stairs. This man fell standing still. He done forgot every goddamn name, including his own. This man couldn't even put on his jacket. His wife had to help him. And the man also fell asleep in an interview. Somebody put this man in a goddamn nursing home. Every week, there's a new video of him falling asleep. This man ain't just falling asleep at a situation where everybody's relaxing. This man is falling asleep in a goddamn summit in an interview, sitting there talking, and he nodded the fuck out. That's why they call him Sleepy Joe. And he's operating on supremacist autopilot, and he is not fit to be the president of the United States of America. As a foundational Black America, we need to let everyone know that Jim Crow Joe Biden ain't gonna cut it, and he's far too old. Mr. Magoo, y'all watch this and tell me, is this somebody who has any business being in the Oval Office, being in the White House? Because I don't see it. Prepare to laugh.
Let's go, look the world. We cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem and Joan Shingang. I'm going to pronounce Shanga Kawawa. Ban on transgender Americans.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction.
I met alone with him, just he and I, and a simultaneous interpreter 68 times, 68 hours, 68 times, more than 68 hours.
What the fuck? Proceed.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
very much, Mr. President. We really appreciate it, and we love you. Thank you.
I might add, if I didn't, I'd be sleeping alone. Let's go lick the world. We cheer for.
This man said, let's go lick the world. I promise you. Proceed.
Muslim athletes like Kareem and Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce Shanga Kawawa. Ban on transgender Americans.
Transgender? This man can't even speak. And he out here trying to make laws and policies. Hell to the no. And it don't stop, family. There is more. As you sit back and watch this man, watch him. He can't even find his way off stage. This man is having speakers. This man is talking. This man can't get on Air Force One. I literally seen him shake hands with the air. This man, as a concerned citizen of America, I'm telling the world, get this man a nursing home. He does not represent our country. This man represents some type of level of dementia I ain't never saw. You don't know where to go. Look, you don't know what to do.
Mr. President, thank you.
What the
At the end
hell?
of such a momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed, thank you. So thank you, President Biden, for your outstanding...
One more time. No, one more time. Look at him trying to shake hands with the air. There's nobody. Family, in the picture, it's only him and his shadow. He's trying to shake his shadow's hand. We can't make this shit up. What the fuck?
Mr. President, thank you. At the end of such a momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed, thank you. So thank you, President Biden, for your outstanding...
Family, no. That man ain't got no business being the president of anything. He needs to be playing bingo some goddamn where. He needs to be screaming bingo at a goddamn get-together, a gathering. He need to be giving out stickers at Walmart. That is about it. He ain't got no business being the president of anything. And y'all think I'm done? Oh, no. No. We got all the goddamn receipts, family. Check this one out. Check this out. Hold on. Run it back. Watch him fall. There ain't nothing there. He fell over nothing. He's trying to point to something. They like, man, there ain't nothing over there. Hey, what he said on Friday? He said, man, get up, oh. It ain't even wet. This man trying to point goddamn at the floor. Look at him. He like, there's something over there. You ain't fall over nothing. You just fell. You ain't even remember what a floor was. Get the hell out of here with that shit. Hey, the little Secret Service dude is looking like, man, there ain't nothing over here. The fuck? The floor ain't even wet. Family, this is what you dealing with when you dealing with somebody who is old as Methuselah, ain't got no business being the president, ain't got no business representing anybody. This man definitely should be somewhere playing bingo, as we say, family, but he should not be making no type of laws for anyone. He ain't built for it. He's too goddamn old, and he needs to be in a nursing home. If that wasn't fucked up, family, I know y'all seen this goddamn video where he did the same thing, only this one is worse. The man falls when he's walking. The man falls when he's riding a damn bike.
Mr. President, may Dr. Biden, how was your anniversary?
One time.
Mr. President, may Dr. Biden, how is
No, stop. How the hell do you fall on a bike? Listen, he doing things that 5-year-olds ain't even doing. How you falling on a goddamn bike? This man ain't got no business. Listen, hey, family, watch this one. This is him. He can't even put his jacket on. Watch him trying to put his jacket on and he loses his shades. How you start off trying to put on the jacket and somehow lose your sunglasses? Nursing home. Family, how you need your wife to help you put on a jacket? My niece knows how to put on her jacket. She has been since she was a baby. How you don't know how to put on your jacket? And he fucks that up even worse. Watch. He lost his shades. Look. He finally got a jacket on and the shades fell off. No, family. If y'all thought that was fucked up, I got even more. I know the Democratic Shield's gonna be mad at me tonight. They can be mad all they want to. Just smash that goddamn like button when you pull on up. Watch this one, family. If that wasn't fucked up, so we got a man who fell standing still, fell off his goddamn bicycle, and then on top of all of that, watch him fall up some stairs. You know it's bad when you're falling up the stairs, but he did. One, 2, 3, 4. Hey, then he turned around and say, "You ain't black." One more time. Boom. Bam. You ain't black. You can't walk. Hey, he tried to salute like so won't nobody remember. Like we didn't just see what we just saw. I told y'all, they always trying to tell us we ain't see it. That man turned around and gave a salute. Nah, brother. You need to be yelling bingo. That's what you need to be doing, family. You need to be at the bingo hall right now. That's what you need to be doing. You done did all of that. And then on top of this, family, y'all know I got more goddamn receipts on this man. He done shook hands with the air, not one time, not 2 times, not 3 times, but 4 times. Yes. The man shakes hands with the air. He shakes hands with his shadow. He falls up the stairs. He can't put on his jacket, and he don't remember his goddamn name. It is a sad day to be Sleepy Joe, and that motherfucker done fell asleep. Watch him. Family, is his hand extended? Who is there? Let me run that back. Tell me who's there. You don't know where to go now. He's still waiting. Hey, not only did he mess up and try to shake the air's hand, now he's looking to see when someone's going to come and shake it. So he's still waiting on somebody's shadow. This motherfucker said somebody's shadow going to shake my hand. Kicked in. Dementia.
American manufacturing is coming back. Once again, we're seeing the pride that comes from stamping a product made in America. Companies are choosing to build their new factories here in America. When just a few years ago, as you all know, that wouldn't have been the case. It would have built the factory overseas. God bless you all.
Hand extended. Nobody is there. The same way that the lights are on and ain't nobody home. Nobody. Ain't nobody there at all. They done left. Okay? Hands down. Nobody's there, Joe. You're too old to run for anything. You need to get your ass in the nursing home ASAP because that is what it is. There is more footage of this man. Watch him right here, family. Y'all know how he be making them slip-ups? Apparently, they say he does. Watch this right here. The man makes this completely different one, and he starts talking about how people feel that he shouldn't run or whatever, and he makes this real bizarre statement. Did y'all ever see this video when he starts talking about hairy legs or whatever when he's talking to black kids? Check this out, family. The man literally starts going on some story, and as we say, he's always on some buck stuff, and he's always talking about body parts and all this stuff. Watch him do this again, fam. He sits there and tells some story to black kids, and he starts talking about how he had hairy legs. Watch.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun.
Whoa. What the fuck did he just say? One more time.
Legs that turn on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again.
What the fuck? What the fuck kind of shit is this?
Down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Listen what he said, family, talking to black folks. He said, I learned about roaches. First off, he's talking about people rubbing his legs to a bunch of young folks. And then he turns around and says, so I learned about roaches. There goes that supremacist autopilot again.
I'll come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Whoa. Dude, what, family? This ain't AI. This ain't AI. This ain't foundational black Americans making it up. Then he says, I love them doing it.
About kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time. They're all good men.
And they were all guys at the time. So did they quit becoming guys? Family, this man ain't got no business being anywhere near politics. This man at all, like every single day we're watching him deteriorate right in front of us. The whole world is watching. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody sees it. And this is your same type of tap dancing, buck dancing, shield loving masses that you see all the time representing this type of bullshit. That man had gaffe after gaffe, blunder after blunder. And when does it get to the point where people call that shit out and say, you ain't going to see anybody come around here? When somebody says, well, he's better than Trump or better than whoever they're saying he's better than. Let me ask this question, family. Can a man finish the damn sentence and can he talk? How are you better than somebody when you can't even talk? When you can talk, we can talk. When you cannot talk, then we can't speak. This man can't even finish a sentence. This man can't even finish a whole goddamn statement or a phrase. So therefore, there is no need for him to be anywhere near policies in the United States of America. And the only people who call that out once again are us. Y'all notice the same pattern, y'all. What is it? It's foundational black Americans calling it out while everybody else is in full denial. There's no lie to what we just seen. When we sit back and we watch those videos of this man tripping and falling all over himself, this man can't even put on a jacket. We got a president that can't even put on a jacket. So when people call him Sleepy Joe, he's Sleepy Joe because he falls asleep in interviews. He falls asleep when he's talking, and he just flat out falls. Donald Trump has been calling it out. Foundational Black Americans been calling it out. A lot of people been calling it out, but they try to sell us this man as if he is something special, and we know goddamn well he's not, but he's Sleepy Joe. And everyone knows that Sleepy Joe is the same one that all the Democratic shills love.
And, you know, I think they want to try and make a deal with us, but I'm not sure. Because the word is, I feel, they want to wait till they get, oh, they're praying. They're praying. They would like to see a new president in a year and a half so that they could continue to rip off the United States like they've been doing for the last 25 years. They would love to see a guy like Sleepy Joe Biden, who has no clue what the hell he's doing. They'd say to Sleepy Joe, sir, just sign right there. Oh, okay. I'll sign. We've been losing hundreds of billions.
Sleepy Joe. And y'all know Sleepy Joe only works when you got people willing to carry the weight, carry the water for him. And it all goes back to the same people that we always say are out there doing that type of family deeds for the family plantation of the Democratic Party, because that's how they look at it. They don't see themselves as black. They see themselves a part of one big family, and that's the dominant society. You're dealing with people who are honorary members of the dominant society. And who are the number one facilitators of all that family? You're dealing with the Black Buck Dancing Coon Caucus. And it is time, and we say this loud and proud, that we dismantle and disband the Black Coon Caucus, because these folks actively always work against us. Check this out.
With April Ryan. We have a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. The 52nd Annual Legislative Congressional Black Caucus drew thousands from around the world. All 58 members took center stage on a number of issues, including Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who hosted 3 workshops. But it was her workshop celebrating 50 years of hip hop with guests T.I. and Yo-Yo that has everyone talking.
Of course, everybody knows about Young, Gifted, and Black. And this year, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary. As you know, I started this workshop because of the attempts to censor hip hop and rap many years ago. And you remember C. Dolores Tucker and the group who went to the Senate in a hearing talking about censorship. And of course, I was opposed to that. And I really wanted the members of Congress to get to know the young people and understand this new genre of music and be able to appreciate the talent that was evolving and what it all meant to the music world.
Babble, babble, babble. Family, do y'all know that they had a whole get-together gathering, the Black Caucus, and they all met up to discuss things that were all anti-foundational Black American? We all know that they do not work for us, they work against us. But they had this whole meeting, and y'all notice they don't never really publicize this stuff. They keep all this stuff kind of in the backdrop. They don't want us to really see what's really going on when you start talking about their gatherings. So they had this big tap dancing gathering, the Black Buck Broken, Buck Dancing, Buck Moving Caucus. And they had this whole thing where they got together in Washington, D.C. this weekend, and they discussed policies that do not help foundational Black Americans. They discussed policies that do not help tangibles or reparations. And when you start talking about this whole meeting that they had, they all put it under the guise of it's for us. But you're dealing with people who have always had policies that are anti the own lineage that they come from. A lot of these people who are in the Black Caucus, they're not even foundational Black Americans. You got immigrants all throughout that. These folks come from everywhere, all over the place, and they try to get us to get on board. And these are the ones that try to get us to push Joe Biden's policies. Do y'all remember a couple years ago when we were saying we wanted reparations, and Clyburn came out and he told us, you ain't getting reparations, but what I will give you is a national hymn.
Let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies. Let it resound, loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song, full of the big as the darkness has caught us. Sing a song, full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day.
This is what they feel we deserve, family. This is what they tried to give us. a goddamn national hymn. This is what it is. When you start speaking about reparations, when you start talking about tangibles, they say, no, we'd much rather give you a goddamn song. This is what the Democratic Party has always been on. This is the type of time, this is the type of energy, and we've all seen it, and we will continuously call it out. Mind you, y'all all know that when you start talking about Clyburn, he's the one who's running around here saying, why y'all fucking with me? I'm the one who wrote the bill. That's him. That's him. That's James Clyburn. Now, all of a sudden, family, he says we're going to give y'all a hymn. And not only did he try to give it to us, he tried to polish it up and tell us how, it will bring everything together and we can fight supremacy when you look at it. So I did some looking on my own, and what you see is what we've already known, but y'all know we bring receipts in a special way on this side. You see the Black Congressional Caucus, and their policies are completely for everyone other than us, and they don't even hide it. They don't even hide it. They keep it real. It's for everyone other than us. They have a whole division that is only specifically for Africans. Did y'all see this event where you had Joyless Reed and then you had Al Sharpton, and they both came out and they said how they work tirelessly so they can help bring everyone in from the diaspora? Yes, the same tethers, the same, can't we all get along? The same, what up, brother? I'm from Brooklyn, son. All of them. Watch this right here, family, when you see them telling the world how they work for the same type of tethers that they want to have come here and get in our reparations.
All right. Since 1971, America's Congressional Black Caucus has been committed to using the full constitutional power and financial resources of the U.S. government to ensure equality and justice throughout the African diaspora.
Wait a minute. Listen to what she said. All of the resources, all of the tangibles to bring justice throughout the diaspora. They don't say nothing about bringing that justice to us. All that money when we talk reparations, all that money when we talk tangibles, she don't mention that. She mentions all of that for the diaspora.
Power and financial resources of the U.S. government to ensure equality and justice throughout the African diaspora.
Known as the conscious. Thank you. Thank you. Known as the conscience of the U.S. Congress, the Congressional Black Caucus established the Free South Africa movement in 1984, which became the longest lasting civil disobedience movement in U.S. history.
Working with South Africans in exile, the CBC answered the call for solidarity and devised the legislative strategy for the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act of 1986.
Look at her talking about an anti-apartheid bill. But as soon as we talk about an anti-foundational Black American hate crime bill, they get hushed, no talk. The Black Caucus only gives people civil rights reenactments, and they go out and they get these fake arrests. Have y'all ever seen any other politician from any other community actively always get arrested? Have sit-ins, do all these type of things? It don't happen. It only happens when it comes to us. Did y'all see this right here? This is another member of the Black Coon Caucus, and she was out there getting fake arrested, having a fake sit-in, a fake march that they've been having for 60 years.
I stayed in the wilderness a day too long. Keep your eyes free to vote. Black women 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 free to vote. Black women.
Look at them out there getting fake arrested. Look at them. You are a politician. They tell us vote, vote, vote. When we go vote for these people, they come out in the streets and protest. We are the only people who have politicians that come out and do the things that we do. You are a politician. You can't get no laws written. You can't get anything done. So what you do is you go out and get arrested. You've never seen any other politician from another community go out and get arrested and have these stunts singing, keep your eyes on the prize. They out here singing things that folks were singing on the plantation, which lets you know that they're still on the plantation. You ask them for a law, a benefit, a tangible, they ain't got nothing. But you ask them to come out here and do some fake ass shit like this, you see it. Nah, we don't need you to fight for justice. We need you to write some laws. And it shows you again, family, that all they are good for is tap dancing and serving the dominant society and whatever plan gets put in front of them by Master Joe, Sleepy Joe, or anyone else. We've been calling it out for the longest amount of time, and we're going to continue to call that shit out. This is what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the buck broken caucus, because they all buck broken. So when you started looking at some of the things that went on at this little gathering, this little CBC convention, family, it was all about tethers. It was tether palooza. You seen people there that have nothing to do with us, literally from every single community. They just had the Hispanic caucus, but at the Hispanic caucus, it was all of their people. There weren't no black folks there. They weren't there trying to share nothing with us. They were there talking about what they need for their people. But when you start talking about ours, all of a sudden, you start seeing people speaking about the diaspora, everything other than us. You start talking about fake arrests. You start seeing fake-ass celebrities. You ain't see George Lopez, family, showing up at they shit. You ain't see it. But you talking about T.I., Puffy was there. All these insignificant black folks were showing up out the woodwork. And why were they doing that? So they can run the con game on us. Act like it's black on the outside, but in reality, it's written with all lives matter, all tethers matter, all slaves matter. And this is the type of game that we know that they stay on and what they've been on. But when you start looking at some of their policies, they put it right there. It's right there. You see it. This right here is the buck dancing caucus, the buck caucus. Look at this, family. This is on their actual main page. Immigration reform. They have an immigration task force. Nobody else has a task force talking about another community other than them. And notice they say an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants call America home. Wasn't Chuck Schumer talking about 11 million? Wasn't Joe Biden talking about 11 million? They got it down to a T. And you're seeing the Black Coon Caucus push this through. 575 of them are black. Okay, so they're tethers who are non-foundational. Black immigrants, much like foundational, I'm not going to say African, they got African Americans. I'm going to say foundational. Black immigrants, much like foundational Black Americans, are disproportionately targeted by the criminal justice system, which often leads to deportation and detention. No. Let's get this right. Notice they said the black immigrants are just like y'all. They get disproportionately attacked, but they asses, they get detained and deported. You can't detain and deport us, so I don't want to hear it. That's the difference. So they're trying to use our struggle so they can get these immigrants through. But it stops at deportation and being detained. We are the only non-deportable people that you were ever going to find. So they try to crowbar their situation with us, and you can't crowbar anybody's situation with us because we are too goddamn thorough, point blank. So they say the immigrants only represent 5% of undocumented population in the United States, but they represent more than 20% of immigrants facing detention and deportation on criminal grounds. Shit, sound like a problem for them. That sounds like a tether problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Why is this on the Black Coon Caucus website when really you're talking to foundationals? You're trying to say, can y'all foundationals come in and help us? We need y'all help. I'm telling you, the whole world is littered with people trying to get assistance from us because they can't do it on their own. Every immigrant comes to this country and they got two things: be anti-black and still get black folks to help you. All right. They want to practice anti-foundational Black American hatred, but yet they want foundational Black Americans to help them and assist them. This is what you're seeing. So they say only 5% of immigrants are Black descent, but yet they represent 20% of the folks in detention. Sounds like a fucking tether problem. That's what it sounds like. What the fuck that got to do with me? Nothing, because I can't be detained or deported. So what you mean? What you trying to tell me? Buck dancing, buck broken, ain't got nothing to do with us. So they're trying to run that. And then they say that they've been deported on criminal grounds. Well, if you're a criminal and you come here and you do some criminal shit, then that applies to you. Mr. Mutombo, Mr. Jorge, Mr. Fufu, Mr. Jolov. that is not a foundational Black American problem. And we in this generation have been letting everybody know y'all problems are not our problems because your history is not our history. Big facts. She says, from the institution of slavery to today's institutions, the criminal justice, juvenile justice, and child welfare systems, African Americans know all too well the pain of forced separation of our families. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. They use criminal justice, juvenile justice, and they use slavery to connect us to immigrants getting separated. They use us in chattel slavery, being in the cotton fields, picking cotton in the worst conditions and building America, to somebody who just came here last night saying y'all should relate. Y'all should have some type of empathy and sympathy for Mr. Mutombo when he gets his family separated the same way yours did. Difference is our people, our ancestors got separated through slavery. His ass got separated because he's an illegal who deported here. Mind you, that is the biggest difference between the two of them. And you see again, foundational Black American pain and suffering is used as a catalyst to serve every other community outside of ourselves. And we don't go for that at all. So they're using our history to bring everyone else in. The same way our history of the civil rights era brought these people in through paperwork. What else do you want from us? Think about it, family. Our brothers and sisters put in that work during the civil rights era and got them to pass the Immigration Act that brought them here. And they still want some shit from us. They said, what y'all did in the civil rights era, that ain't good enough. Now we still need folks to go back to slavery. They went civil rights era, then they said, okay, cool, let's go back to slavery. They're going to find every single thing that we've ever done, crowbar, tie it in, twist it up, tangle it in with immigrants, and try to use that as a catalyst for us to support their claims. And they're upset that we're not doing it. That's why you're seeing all these hit pieces coming after foundational Black Americans, and that's why you see this babble that they're presenting. They say, this tragic history unites African Americans. Let me specifically highlight this. This tragic history with Black Americans, it unites us with Latinos and other immigrant communities. So basically, translation, family, they're saying slavery connects y'all to Latinos and everyone else. That's what they're saying. The CBC Immigration Reform Working Group is committed to fixing our broken immigration system by codifying, deferred action for childhood arrivals, extending the temporary protection status to countries that continue to face conflicts and disasters, and advocating for other measures. Family, that is nothing that does not concern us. That has every single thing to do with them trying to get in on what we have created and trying to get foundational Black Americans to get involved. And just like we were saying, when you talk about the Mayos and the Miracle Whips, this is a situation where we ain't getting involved. It ain't got nothing to do with us. They can have that. They can have that all day long. Because what I heard, and I'm sure y'all heard this, family, y'all heard a bunch of shit that don't concern us, didn't you? They was trying to phrase it like it's something that concerns us. But what I heard was, ain't got shit to do with us, ain't got nothing to do with us, ain't got a goddamn thing to do with us. We need to sit it out. Sometimes it's good to sit out. We say you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Well, goddamn it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold them and fold them, and we're going to watch that shit because it ain't got nothing to do with us. But when you look at everything that they do, y'all remember when they was trying to tap dance and they was trying to play us with, what do y'all feel is the number one concern of the Black community? And the Black Coon Caucus put out this bullshit ass poll. They said, which legislative priority of the Congressional Black Caucus do you want to hear more about and remain the most important to you? Look what it is, family. Reparations at 57%. Infrastructure at 6%. George Floyd Act at 4%. Voting rights at 33%. They didn't like that poll. And by the way, family, that poll is nowhere to be seen on any of their social media platforms, including the website that we were just reading. They hid that. They put that under the dirt. They stacked boxes on it. They didn't want that to get out there because they know, like we know, that's something that we're going to call them out on. And in election season, like I said, we hold that percentage in our hand. So when you see that poll right there and they're trying to run that game on us and saying, well, what do y'all care about the most? Reparations? Okay, look at their website, family. The website flip-flops completely off of reparations. Oh, no, they don't say shit about no goddamn reparations. But what they do hit us with about the CBC, since it was established in 1971, The Coon Buck Dance Caucus has committed to using the full constitutional power and authority. No, they don't, because they out here trying to get arrested. How are you using full constitutional power if you out here getting arrested in the street? You're lying. They say this is what they're about. Reforming the criminal justice system, which is a Babel talking point, and eliminating barriers for re-entry, which means tethers, okay, translation, combating voter suppression, which is bullshit that they keep fighting for, expanding access to world-class education for pre-K through post-secondary level, which is for everybody, all lives matter, expediting the access to quality, affordable healthcare, and eliminating racial health disparities, which is supremacy. They don't talk about that. Expanding access to 21st century technologies, which they don't talk about that because that is a system of supremacy. They don't mention that at all. Strengthening protections for workers, expanding access to full and fairly compensated employment. That as well goes back to the system of supremacy. But I want y'all all to notice, they don't say black. Black does not come up in this at all, and they do not mention black. Why don't they mention black? Is because they want to make sure, family, that this is all going to all lives matter. Now, when you start looking at all these other groups, they make sure that they put their group, their lineage, their culture right in the middle, front and center. But when it comes to us, this Coon Caucus, they don't say a goddamn thing about black. They only mention black, family, when they can get some type of all lives matter and entangle us in. They know when they can say it, and then they know when they shouldn't say it. And this is one of those situations where they say, we're just going to act like we didn't see it. Because if we act like we didn't see it, then we can't really pull that con game on everybody. Nobody's falling for that. This is your typical con game, and this is what they were discussing at that little gathering that they had. And we got to be extra cautious of those type of hustles and those scams, because those are the type of hustles and scams that give us this all lives matter, everybody included policy. One of the main things they're doing now with this everybody included is reparations. What they try to do, family, they want to get front and center on our reparations push, and they want to put in a bunch of fake reparationists so they can replace the real reparationists. They had this fake ass bullshit bill for reparations. Mind you, they already had HR 40. Did y'all see the new one that they were trying to use with the Cori Bush, where she was out here trying to push reparations? And look at all those people in the background. Nobody, nonsense.
I support this effort as a thoughtful contribution to the foundation of the decades of work we have done in Congress to move the needle forward. In particular, this resolution calls out our government's failure to pass HR 40 legislation, which I introduced this session, and a measure that has now been introduced in Congress for over 30 years, seeking the establishment of a commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans. HR 40 is the pathway for a governmental framework that will help restore national balance and unity in terms of wealth, healthcare, education, housing, and the criminal justice system. By passing HR 40, Congress can start a movement toward the national reckoning we need to bridge racial divides. Reparations are ultimately about respect.
Listen to what she said right there, family. She said, so we can bridge racial divides. This is what they're saying. They're saying they want to give us reparations in the form of bullshit like they're trying to sell us, but we don't want to give it because it's a debt that's owed. We want to give it so we can bridge some type of racial divide, and basically, can't we all just get along? There's always a catch when you see these people from this caucus, and this is the type of catch that they running. This was nothing, and every brother and sister out there knew it was nothing. That's why they don't really even talk about this bullshit law. They try to present it because they know if they can present something like this that's fake, and they can try to get us behind it, they think that they can make us start talking about their plan opposed to our plan. All right, that's what they really tried to do, and we didn't go for it. This shit did not go nowhere. It didn't get off the ground. They tried to run this, and brothers and sisters were saying, nah, we cool on that one. You can keep that one because that one has nothing to do with us at all whatsoever. This is an all lives matter reparations, not a foundational Black American reparations.
Reconciliation and healing, and the hope that one day Americans of all backgrounds can walk together toward a more just future.
People of all backgrounds can walk together. What the hell does that got to do with the debt that's owed to us? Once again, it has to be something that combines everybody else and it's mixed in with foundational Black Americans. You did not hear any of this at the Hispanic caucus. They were talking about them specifically and solely. Only when it comes to us do you hear something of this nature where they're saying, well, everybody can get in on it, and we should just make sure that all people can walk together as one. Family, if all people walk together in 500 different goddamn ways, I don't give a fuck as long as my people are good and we got our check. And that's what they don't want to understand, and that's what they've been running from, okay? We know straight up and down that foundational Black Americans are in pursuit of a debt that is owed to us based on things that have occurred to us and us only. So when she tries to get in front of that with this talking point and this babble, it lets us already know it's a con game and it's interference. They're running interference on everything that we're doing, and they're running interference on everything that we're saying because they know we're getting that much more closer. We're getting closer to the bag. That's what it is. If we weren't getting close to the bag, family, you wouldn't see none of this. You wouldn't see none of this if we weren't getting close to the bag. This is a result of us getting close to the bag. When they see this, they say, well, we got to somehow jump in front of it. We got to make sure that those foundational Black Americans get diverted off the path that they're on, because if they get close to the bag, we're going to be up against the ropes, and all that 11 million, this, that, and the other thing is going to be in full swing.
Can start a movement toward the national reckoning. We need to build a bridge, racial divide.
Wait a minute. Notice she said start a movement. There already is a reparations movement, and it's done by us. We were the ones last November in Washington, D.C. It was us at the reparations rally. There is a reparations movement, and it started by us. This is why people from all over the world are talking about reparations, because of us. Nobody is talking about reparations because of Jamaica. Nobody's talking about reparations because of Mexico or Africa. They are following us. The reparations movement, and the fact that reparations was a word people couldn't even spell 7 years ago, and now everybody's talking about it. They're asking presidents, and I've literally seen politicians run because they're trying to hide from people who question them about reparations. We are the ones who started it. So when she said start a movement, the movement's already going. Only difference is that your ass got left behind, and your ass is still at the bus station, and we've been driving it straight to the bank, and we're going to cut the check when we get to that bank. So all this building a bridge and racial divide and can't we all get along, that is exactly what we've been stopping, and that is exactly what we've been trying to change, because we know more than anyone they want to all lives matter our reparations the same way they all lives matter every single thing we do. But it's been very hard for them to be able to do that with the reparations movement, because the reparations movement is very, very thorough, because simply we ain't playing about our money. At that same meeting, family, look at some of the people who were there. Look at some of the people who were there, family. Check this out. Y'all remember that, what's her name? Anan Omar or whatever, that Muslim lady that's somewhere up north? She said, I'm incredibly proud to host my first Brain Trust panel at the Congressional Black Foundational American, because I'm done with them saying African American. I don't address that. The Foundational Black American lineage is what they're really trying to get in on. She says, I'm so proud to host an event at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation annual legislative conference to discuss the future of the African continent. Listen to what she said. She said that she is at the Congressional Black Caucus to discuss the African continent. Look at those people right there, family. Look at them. Those people right there. Those are folks who are coming here, clicking up, snuggling up next to the Coon Caucus, who snuggles up next to the Democratic plantation, and they're having these brain trusts. This is what was going on in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, family. This is what they were doing. You had all of these All Life Matter groups in the ALC that were there clicking up so they can get in on what we're doing. This was a big, how the fuck do we stop FBA convention? That's what it was, and that's what we got to see it as. This wasn't some, how can we uplift black people here in America? Hell no. Look at these names, family. They got folks that ain't nowhere near from America. These folks jumped off boats, done parachuted out of planes. A goddamn plane flew over, they parachuted out of it, and they landed at the Buck Dancing Convention. This is what they've been doing. Nothing at this convention was there for us. This was nothing more than a how do we stop FBA convention. And this is why they weren't really showing it too much. If y'all notice, they've been real hush-hush on what went down there, family. Yeah, they've been real hush-hush. They've been keeping it quiet. And a lot of the photos, you had to go out and really look to see what was truly going on. And I mean, it was all lives matter. Everybody was there. Mind you, not everybody comes to their events and their get-togethers when it's non-black. See, they put black on it, but it serves everybody else. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy, family. I don't even know this dude. Look at this guy. Look at this dude right here. Ted Lieu. Look at Ted Lieu, y'all. I want y'all to look at him. This guy was at the goddamn buck dancing convention. Yes, he was. Not only was he there, he was an acting participant in some of the damn panels that they had. Check it out. Honored to speak at the Black Caucus Convention in the ALC 52 today on Black Americans and the United States Armed Forces. Challenges, opportunities, and path forward. This guy was there. Once again, this was a Tether outside convention. Look at it. This right there, family, that's not at his people's convention. That was at a Black Swans. That was at a Black Swans, because y'all know that black that they have in it, that don't mean real black. That's counterfeit. We certified. And that's the difference. We represent the real authentic. They artificial. But this guy was there. This guy was there. They didn't have no real black economists there, but this guy was there. The other lady was there. Folks, you can't even pronounce their name was there. Motherfucking Mr. Mutombo and Mr. Jollof showed up. They was walking through there with dashikis on, proud to be a Tether. Yes, the fuck they was. And why? Is because they can get in on everything other than what is really good for us. We know the game, we know the con, we know the hustle, we know the scams. Got another one. Y'all know the receipts do not stop. Look at this. Look at this guy. Family. Oh, we got him today. Look at this dude. Gilberto. Gilberto. Literally. The man's name is Gilberto. And guess what? Dr. Claude wasn't there. Brother Cabo wasn't there. Nobody from the Black Grassroots, Black Alpha wasn't there. But I tell you who was there. Mr. Gilberto. And Gilberto said, bullish. He said, and all of the BIOP inventors, community builders, and investor diversity, thank you for the invite. Celebrating the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute Leadership Conference and the Congressional Black Foundation Annual Legislative Conference. You see how all of a sudden they're throwing in the term foundation. This man said the Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislative Conference. They had about 30 different goddamn words in it. You're seeing foundation pop up all the time because the same way that they're trying to hijack and crowbar themselves into reparations, that's the same way they're trying to crowbar and hijack all into our shit. We know what they're doing. Gilberto, that's him. That's Gilberto, family. Gilberto was right there representing his people at the Black Caucus. But at his people's caucus, you don't see no black people. We ain't lying in these streets. That's Gilberto, and there go Gilbertette. Gilbertette was there too, y'all. She was there, live and in living color. Gilbertette was there. Gilberto was there. The whole damn family. There go Mr. Jollof. Mr. Jollof had to show up. A party ain't a party unless Mr. Mutombo there. And Mr. Mutombo came sliding in. Yes, he did. He came in on a giraffe. Y'all know he did. This is what we talking about. These people come to all of these meetings and these conventions, and this is why they were hiding it. Why were they hiding it, family? They were hiding this because they know that they would have to answer to us. And we would say, okay, screw all that. What about reparations? They say, well, I don't want to talk about the reparations. There was 100 different accents there. 100. But there was no real black grassroots representatives in the building. Why is that, family? Because they've been trying to keep this all to their goddamn selves. They'll pull in some celebrities. Oh, yeah. They'll pull a celebrity real quick. Yep, they'll talk about MC Lyte and LL Cool J. Oh, they can come. Oh, yeah, they'll bring them in real fast. But I tell you what, an economist or anybody who's really talking business and getting down to the brass tacks, oh, they ain't coming. They ain't coming. Why ain't they coming? Because, again, they cannot control what we've created in the black grassroots. The black grassroots is so in full command and we're in so much charge that they can't contain us. They can't contain us. They wish they could, but they just can't. So the only thing they can do is go get a bunch of cosplayers and try to put them in front of us and try to have them speak and represent us. I guarantee you that every single person there were speaking as if they were one of us. Nobody was there talking in third or fourth or fifth person. They were trying to say that we kind of like you guys. We're all the same. We should all be on the same family page. No. Nah, ain't happening. So Gilberto and all these other motherfuckers that's showing up, they can go on back to where they came from because foundational Black Americans, we represent it. This is why it's very important for us to have our own conventions, our own meetings, our own rallies where we can convene. We have to convene. The way we get rid of all this, family, is by putting out real certified Black grassroots energy. We do not get rid of this by sitting back and watching these people play these games because they're going to play them forever because they ain't got no goddamn spine, no backbone, no nut. But we do. And that's the biggest difference, fam. So we're going to make sure that whatever goes down is going to go down on our watch, our time, because they just cannot hold the weight. And it's meant to be that way, and it's going to stay that way. So Mr. Mutombo, Mr. Gilberto, or anybody else who's acting like a foundational Black American, getting the invite from the dominant society, they know goddamn well when it all boiled down, they're going to have to deal with us. And this is what you've seen there, family. So you've seen everybody talking about all the Africans, and they were talking about people from the Latino caucus, all of that. We already know what they was going to do. We knew it before they tried it. You know what I'm saying? But when it all gets to the point, they have to deal with us in real time. They can no longer run around here and act like everything is sweet. They can no longer run around here and act like everything is in full control for them. And if you notice, fam, not only have they been running around and they've been trying to make these little backdoor deals and stuff, they've been also putting out these fake joint statements. Now, they only make joint statements with the Black Caucus when it serves non-Black people, because once again, the Black Caucus is designed to work against Black people. All Black politicians are designed to work against Black people. But check this out. Black Hispanic Caucus apply pressure to Biden and ICE. Look at this. On Monday, members of the Congressional Black Caucus wrote with grave concern to newly confirmed Department of Homeland Security Secretary Aldermando, whatever the hell, over the deportation of Haitian immigrants fleeing violence. Y'all remember that, right? But notice how the Black Caucus and the Hispanic Caucus, they all got together and they start making these notes and saying, now we need to work together. They're not doing that so they can serve us. Once again, this is only to serve non-Black Americans. So you see the Hispanic Caucus teams up with the Black Caucus so they can make policies that are anti-Black American. And I come to find out when I was studying, family, that they put out these meaning 3 different caucus press statements. And I found like 11 or 12 of them where it's all of these other caucuses, like the Asian caucus, the Hispanic caucus, the Black caucus. And they put out these joint statements basically saying they're working as partners. But every single one of these joint statements that they put out, they're always working together to serve somebody else. And this is what they never talk about. Look at this one right here. They say, the time to act is now. The CHC, the CBC, the CAPAC, and the CPC chairs send a letter to Senate leadership urging them to prioritize a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. Family, I can't make that up. I can't make that up. Look how many different caucus groups came together to work for dreamers. Okay, you ain't seen none of them make any type of press statements with the CBC 4HC. You ain't seen none of that in regards to foundational Black Americans being victims of hate crime, foundational Black Americans deserving reparations, foundational Black Americans deserving some type of benefit. No. But you will see, once again, the CHC, CBC, CAPAC, CPC chairs all get together so they can make a law to help get dreamers in. And mind you, dreamers is terminology stolen from foundational Black American legend Martin Luther King. So they'll use Martin Luther King so they can get something for dreamers. I ain't done. Look at this one. This is another one, family. Tri-caucus members oppose HUD Security Carson's effort to evict immigrant and mixed status families. Tri-caucus. That is meaning this right here. Look up in the top, family. This is the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. But they had a little help. I'm going to read it. The Tri-Caucuses, which includes the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, CHC, Congressional Black Caucus, CBC, and Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, Kamala Harris, called on the Department of Housing, Secretary Ben Carson to reverse his decision to target immigrant and mixed status households by barring them from federal housing subsidies. You see that again. This is another conjunction where the CBC is working with another group so they can benefit non-foundational Black Americans, and you never see them ever do any of this for us. Name me one time you've seen another group and their caucus come and speak on an issue that foundational Black Americans deal with. It's never happened. It's never happened, not one time. And we can go all the way down the list and you can see it point blank, front and center. That is what they've been doing. This is what you're dealing with when you're talking about the congressional tap dancing, buck dancing, coon ass caucus. They are here to serve everyone else's need, because in reality, the Black caucus is just another armed wing of supremacy. And there's such an armed wing of supremacy, family, that I went all the way back in time to 1994. Why did I go back into 1994? Because remember when Joe Biden wrote that 1994 crime bill? All that, y'all gonna come after my family, y'all gonna come after my kids. Then he passed it over to Bill Clinton. The Democratic Party has been the #1 facilitators for pain and suffering for foundational Black Americans. Whether that is the 1994 crime bill, whether that is all of these policies in these Democratic ran cities and all of the benign neglects, yet we voted 90% for them. And this is why they're mad, because that is going away. They have benefited the most off of things that foundational Black Americans have had to deal with. And not only do they put us in the position where they openly and actively harm us, then they run off of that harming and they put it in their campaign ads so they can get some type of clout from it. That's what they do. So when I went back to 1994, we seen, which a lot of people know, is that it wasn't just Jim Crow Joe Biden who wrote that 1994 crime bill. It wasn't just Bill Clinton who signed the 1994 crime bill, which, by the way, destroyed and separated the Black family. We have slavery, we have Reconstruction, we have civil rights, and then we have the 1994 crime bill. That is what you see, family, from Black American existence in this country and some of the key points. Now, that is also a part of them putting drugs in our communities, and that also affects the war on drugs. The war on drugs, mass incarceration, that shit works together like Bopsy twins, because one serves and the other has it. One hand washes the other. So Joe Biden, Jimmy Crow Joe, that MC Light and all these suckers try to sell us that there's some type of hero for the community. He not only wrote that 94 crime bill, Bill Clinton played a saxophone and then his ass signed it. The Congressional Broken Buck Dancing Caucus, they're the ones who helped facilitate signing it. And they've never taken ownership over it. We all know that they are the ones who sat back, and they are the ones who were okay with all of the Democrats writing that law, but they've been hush-hush about it until today. They get quiet, we speak the fuck out. In 1994, I pulled up an article from the Baltimore Sun, and I want y'all to see if y'all can see that date. I don't know if you can. It was August 18th, 1994 at 12 a.m. Somebody by the name of Karen Hosler for the Baltimore Sun, she put out this article, an article that I am about to read, which is going to show everybody that not only did the Democratic plantation write the 1994 crime bill that completely pulverized the Black community, and not only was it signed, stamped, sealed, and delivered by Jimmy Crow Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, it was also a policy that was helped facilitated and walked through by every single member of the Black Coon Buck Broken Caucus, and they have to be held accountable for it, and certified Black society will. This article reads, with the switch of at least 3 votes, the Congressional Black Caucus made clear yesterday that if it would come for President Bill Clinton's rescue on the crime bill, they needed it to happen. After a meeting at the White House with Mr. Clinton, 3 Black Caucus members who had voted against bridging the $33 billion measure up for the final White House vote. Let's say this, family. We always talk about the crime bill. Oh, we got receipts today. Smash that goddamn like button. Black Alpha Network in the building. We always talk about the crime bill, but a lot of times we don't actually speak about the price of it, how much it costs, the resources that went into it. They'll sit here and say that they can't find no money in 2023 for reparations, but they was pulling out $33 billion for the crime bill. And that's just on the front end, not even mentioning the back end and all the money that was being made in silence. So you see that the Congressional Black Caucus, they met up on August 18th, 1994. They met up with Bill Clinton and told him, we will support this law. Not only were they already supporting it, but they say that there were only 3 members that voted against it. Meaning, out of a whole caucus that literally has about 100 people, only 3 people did it. And they didn't do it because they love the community so much. Hell to the no. They did it for another reason. After meeting at the White House, Mr. Clinton, with 3 black members of the caucus who voted against bringing the $35 billion measure up for final White House vote last weekend, announced that they had succumbed to his appeals to save not only the crime bill, but perhaps his presidency. This is the biggest receipt that you're going to find on the crime bill of 1994, on Jim Crow Joe Biden, on Bill Clinton, and the Black Buck Broken Caucus. We got them right here. This is what we talking about. They know what time it is. They can run, they can hide. We gonna walk they ass down. We got time for days. They said that they succumbed. They didn't succumb to it. What you come to find out, family, is that Bill Clinton told them, y'all need to sign this goddamn law and we need to make it official because that's your job. The job of a Democrat is to get black folks either on the Democratic plantation or to bring the Democratic plantation to black folks. The Black Caucus is an open, active member of white supremacy. That's exactly what they are. They are the Buck Caucus, hands down, and they are comprised of the biggest counterfeit busters that we've ever seen, and we're going to G-check and checkmate them all the way live right here, right now. So you see that it was $33 billion put on the goddamn table. Not only that, but only 3 folks didn't vote for it. And the 3 folks who didn't vote for it, it wasn't because they were really on it. It wasn't because they didn't really care. You're going to find out as I read more of this receipt and we cash it in full, paid in full. You're going to see that they had some more buck-breaking biscuits that they wanted. So the people who didn't vote, mind you, a whole caucus that was established in fucking 1971 with hundreds of members, only 3 of them did not vote. And the 3 who did it, they only didn't vote because they wanted some extra sprinkles on their biscuit. That's what we doing today. This activism. This ain't no Twitter space. This ain't no outside pull up. This is real activism, breaking down the real receipts. And this is how we do it when you really certified. Salute to everybody in the chat. Love y'all. These are the people who've been going against our lineage. And this is what our generation has been chosen to finally put an end to. That's why when I made this video, I said we put an end to all the buck breaking and we put an end to the Democratic plantation because we are the only ones, not only who can do it, who will do it, we are the only ones who got the power to step to them. And that's what we're doing. Bill Clinton said, I need y'all to help me with this $33 billion crime bill to save my presidency. This is how it was sold. This is how much they wanted to hit us with this crime bill because they wanted to literally save his presidency. So all of the Democratic plantation was riding on this bill getting signed. And what did the whole Coon Caucus do? They tap danced their way in. They say he was selling his presidency, the party, and the fact that we will not get a better bill than this. We will not get a better bill than this. That's what Rep. Charles B. Wrangler, a New York Democrat who found Mr. Clinton persuasive, basically saying he loves massa. Massa sold it to Miss Reals goods up. Every step forward in a positive way renews the confidence the people have in the president. He said, going forward, we have more gained confidence in Bill Clinton for passing the 1994 crime bill. Now, we all know with the advantageous perspective of history that nothing positive came from this. But look at the way they were celebrating. They were cheering along with Bill Clinton writing this law. Look at them. This is what's happened. These are all the same people that now tell us to vote blue no matter who. They tell us you got to vote because your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote. These are the same sellouts, family. They just disappeared and they reappeared years later, selling us the same con game. You can't win with no Democrat. Only thing you can do with the Democratic Party is watch the plantation fall to the ground and pop you some champagne in the process. Receipts continue. So this man said that Bill Clinton was persuasive, aka he loves massa. Then he said every step forward is in a positive way, aka I trust massa. And then he says the confidence in the people and the love they have for the president. The black lawmakers got almost nothing in return and will probably have to give up a lot along the way to pick up moderate Republicans who also help and needed to much make up the 8 votes by which the bill fell short. So what they're saying right there, family, is they ain't get no goddamn butter biscuits. So when we say that 3 people from the Black Caucus did not vote for this, we're meaning they said, I'm not going to vote, boss, until you gives me the biscuit with the sprinkles on it. If you just gives me a regular biscuit, I don't want it, Bills. And Bill Clinton said, fuck you, you ain't getting no biscuits. They said, okay, boss, I was wrong for saying I wanted a biscuit. Who's am I to calling you now? And what happened? They succumbed. It says it right here. It said they succumbed to Bill Clinton and they ended up voting for the damn crime bill anyway. The majority of them, like 98%, had already voted. The other 3 who did not vote, they said, I can't win, boss. I'll take the regulars biscuits. And they took the goddamn regular biscuit. So family, I want y'all to analyze that. Not only were they actually openly trying to get this crime bill signed, and I remember, okay, mind you, I remember studying it and I seen it all on documentation, and I was a young person, but a lot of us right here, our families were all affected by this 1994 crime bill, 3 strikes and you're out, basically, which is the ultra military wing of supremacy coming after foundational Black Americans from top to bottom, from the prison industrial complex all the way down to a goddamn rent-a-cop who's giving you a ticket. And we all know that those situations can turn very, very violent for us like that in a flash. So we all understand what exactly happened with the 1994 crime bill. Don't let none of these people ever try to dismiss it or downplay it. The 1994 crime bill, which was responsible because of Joe Biden, the same 999-year-old Joe Biden today, when he was 699 years old, he wrote this law. So when Obama or any motherfucker comes around and tries to tell us that's Uncle Joe, it's disrespectful. And that's why I say we don't play no games with him. If you are a Democratic shield, that go for Roland Martin, Vanessa Jones, Broken Buck, Kari Sellers, I don't give a damn. Joyless Reed, you from here, you from there, it don't matter. If you are somebody trying to sell my lineage, Joe Biden is some type of hero when he committed that atrocity with the backing of all of those buck dancers, then you are openly an op, a foundational Black American, and it's regulated season. They don't like regulated season. They cannot stand regulated season because regulated season gets shit done, and that's why we're getting things done. So when you see that they came back and they said, well, Bill, we'll go ahead and get it if you just gives me the right biscuit, and then they say, okay, we'll take the other biscuit. You can have that biscuit. It's cool. That lets you know, family, that these folks were on board with it. All of those church folks, they was running around. They was talking about Snoop Doggy Dogg in the dog pound. They was talking about Bone Thugs and Harmony. Salute the Crazy Bone. Much love. Everybody out there. They was talking all about Tupac Shakur and rap music. All that shit about rap music. It's funny now. They talk about Hip Hop 50 and how hip hop is so monumental and hip hop is so great. But they don't tell you that in 1994, the same Democratic Party throwing these hip hop celebrations where Kamala Harris is on stage trying to tell us that Jamaicans help, that Latinos help, that Afro beats is the new hip hop. The same Joe Biden who called LL Cool J, LL6J, LLZJ, LLMJ, the same hip hop bullshit 50 anniversary that they're running from the Democratic Party. These were the same people who were using hip hop music as a catalyst to sign the 1994 crime bill. You can look, it's all over the internet. They had study after study, these fake ass CNBC, ABC, NBC. They were talking about how black folks was bad. We talked about it last week with Kamala, when Kamala was running around here talking about truancy and trying to connect a goddamn rap song to somebody doing something in the projects. They were doing all these things, never mentioning the system of supremacy. They were saying, what's wrong with black folks? Why are y'all so violent? How come y'all listen to all that rap music and then y'all go out there and commit crimes? Now they're telling us how rap music saves the day. This is what we're saying. The Democratic Party is in open opposition to foundational black Americans, and we've been TKOing their ass for the last 5 years, and we're going to do it for the next 5 until that plantation is all the way down. Then we step on them. It wasn't done yet, family. Back to the Baltimore Sun. This was August 18th, 1994 at 12 a.m. when this was written, and I found it. They hit it. I found it. That's how we do. They say some Republicans raised the ante yesterday for their support. So you see a bipartisan thing here. What do I always say, family? You only see the Republicans and Democrats get along when they can either support something that's against foundational black Americans, or they can openly just go against foundational black Americans themselves. You'll never see Mayo and Miracle Whip getting together until they can team up on us. So once again, you see the Democratic Party and the Republicans can't agree on policies. Hell, right now they're talking about shutting down the government because they can't get along. But in 1994, when they talking about a crime bill, all of a sudden they supported it. Newt Gingrich of Georgia, the House GOP, said the price for picking up Republican votes could be as high as $6 billion in cuts for crime prevention programs, many of which help black communities. Notice that they said crime prevention, black communities. This was the connection of crime in black Americans that the Coon Caucus has always been trying to do, the same way they tried to connect us to immigration, deportation, and detention. They know when to bring up black, and then they know when to not bring up black. And this is exactly what they were doing back then. They said a smaller faction of moderate Republicans might want at least $1 billion in cuts for those programs. This is them right now, family, saying we can team up together, make this crime bill that harms black folks, and we can still get a piece of the pie. This whole article was basically, fam, was about them trying to posture a way in which they can get in on the crime bill, and says, you're going to harm foundational black Americans, I'm going to harm foundational black Americans. We're all going to support this 1994 crime bill. It's just, how can you get it? Oh, you want some money for that? Okay, sign up. You want some money for that? Sign up. Some Republicans say, if you give me this amount of dollars, I will support it. And then some others say, if you give me this amount of dollars, I'll support it. But yet you had all the Coon Caucus. They were in there saying, well, just give me some butter biscuits. So you see the whole political atmosphere, the whole apparatus of the United States government all working in conjunction, in cahoots, so they could put together an anti-foundational black American hate crime bill, the 1994 crime bill, and they're all trying to get a piece of the pie. They were trying to pull a political legislative scramble for Africa. You know how they say, you can have that, you can have that, you can have that. This is what they were trying to do with us back in 1994. And who was sitting back watching it all happen and were cheering it, had they pom-poms out? You guessed it, the Black Buck Broken Caucus, and they went right along with it. And I'm gonna get to a familiar name real quick. It ain't done. Back again. They said the extraordinary amount of presidential pleading required to secure the help of black lawmakers in a critical moment seemed to demonstrate not only Mr. Clinton's weakness, but how much his closest political allies resent his presumption that they will always be there. Let me tell you this, family. What you see right there, the certified translation, what they're really saying is, fam, is that Bill Clinton did not need all this help. This isn't about him trying to get the law passed. This is about everybody trying to get a piece of the pie, like I was just referring to. The law was going to get passed because the Democrats, the Republicans, the liberals, the conservatives, the East, the West, the North, and the South, they all got together. The same way after the Civil War, all of a sudden they got together. The Confederates got together with the Union and they turned their back on black people. They know when to get on code, and they know when to act like they're not on code. They were clearly on the same code when they were writing this law. If you listen to Joe Biden when he gave that fucking hour-long speech about the bill that he very vehemently and passionately supported, you can literally hear him saying, I got support of Republicans and Democrats. So you see them literally just fighting over the small details and the small nuances. That's all this is right here. But you see Bill Clinton pushing it. So everybody that they would literally later try to sell us with some type of civil rights hero all had their fingers in this pot. And they were calling it a critical moment. Don't get it twisted. A lot of times they try to sell us like the crime bill was something that just kind of happened and a lot of people didn't really know about it. And it was something that like society was trying to figure out. No, it wasn't. The 1994 crime bill, family, took over the whole news. It was the #1 law that they were putting out back in 1994. Once again, I'm not going to say that disproportionately affected foundational Black Americans. I'm going to say that it was exclusively targeting foundational Black Americans. If you say shit like a disparity or it disproportionately affected us, that gives you some type of connotation and some type of notion that it was actually meant to go after everyone else. No, by all crime statistics, while this was going on, the dominant society commits then and now and historically more crimes than everybody. But the 1994 crime bill didn't split up their family, didn't 3 strikes you're out them, didn't mass incarcerate them. So this wasn't about all people. This was about us specifically, and that's why the law was written. So as you see that right there, family, and they laid that down on the table, it wasn't the end of it. This was more. They were breaking it down, and everybody had their fingers in the pot, and they was trying to get it, and they were making this the biggest thing ever. And they also said, like I said, family, they said that crime and lawmakers were definitely trying to make this law happen so they can get it, and they can get it fast, right? So they said, I hope, check this out, family. Get ready for this one. Let me highlight this, because this is somebody that I have never had no respect for and will never have respect for. Check this out. Lo and behold, after all of that posturing from the Clinton administration, after all of that tap dancing, all that buck broken energy that was put out there by the caucus, the final statement, after everybody succumbed, all the Republicans got their piece of the pie, all of the coon caucus got their piece of the pie, Joe Biden got his crime bill written, Bill Clinton got his. You see this. Last statement of the article, August 18th. This is what you heard. I hope this drives home the fact that none of us should ever be taken for granted. This was said by Representative John Lewis. John, I got my ass whooped in Selma, and I thank the people who whooped my ass for the next 60 years. John, I ain't never done nothing to advance my people. John, while Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Rakia Boyd, Corinne Gaines, and Mike Brown were all being harmed, I was still talking about Selma. John ain't did a goddamn thing for standing up and stepping up for your people. John Lewis said, I hope that the president knows not to take us for granted. Translation. John Lewis said, thank you, Bill Clinton, for whooping my ass the same exact way I thank the people in Selma for whooping my ass. That is a counterfeit. We all certified, they exposed, and we win every day. That's what it is, family. That was August 18th, 1994. That was on the Baltimore Sun by a publisher named Karen Hosland. I had to search for that on the internet so we can drop some real receipts on what really, genuinely, truly went down. So as they try to come back and they try to give us revisionist history, fake history, bullshit history of things that we know for a fact did not happen, we know, and we will continue to know, that the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Coon Caucus, the Buck Broken Caucus, the Tap Dance and Banjo whole caucus, they've never served our community at all, and they do not like the fact that not only have we exposed them, they don't like the fact that they are in the process of being exposed to the point where they will not win another election because all the power lays in our hand and they have nothing else but to do but deal with it. Point blank, bottom line, period, G-check, checkmate. That's all we do is we give receipts. So as this election season comes up, family, and you start seeing these folks run around here and give us that whole hustle, they got to deal with the fact that right there, family, ain't going to work. That right there, family, ain't popping. Raphael Warnock, what's the dude name? Jim Clyburn, okay? Clybum, all of them. None of that is going to work on our people. We are too certified and we too strong for it. So they just got to take that back seat and they got to bow all the way down. New time, new day, new era. It ain't going to work. So when Master Joe, Jim Crow Joe, when he wakes up from his nap, they need to go ahead and send him the kite and let him know that it's FBA all goddamn day. And FBA, we on motherfucking play. So, family, I got one more thing I want y'all to all check out, and this is nothing but love. This is all respect due to everybody in the building. I want the whole family to know that real hard. We've been trying to keep everything super, super thorough, super, super satisfied, so everyone knows that we're not just sitting back watching. We out here building. We ain't sitting back just talking. We out here building. And the more we build and the more we get things done, fam, the more things are really going to change. And change, it don't just start with us. It ends with us. We are the beginning, the middle, and the end. All of us together collectively as one. So the dominant society's got to deal with a whole new generation of riders. And that's what we are. We riders. Everyone has to know that. We're to the point in this era where we are not taking anything from anyone. Anything that we say goes. And we moving with that type of confidence and we moving with that type of energy. That type of energy is what's truly, genuinely changing the country. If you ever wanted to be a part of something that's monumental, it ain't no 1994 crime bill. It ain't no vote blue no matter who. It ain't no sleepy Joe Biden. Hell no. Nah. Anything that you're going to do that's going to be monumental, it's going to have FBA on it. It's going to have certified on it. And at this point, family, if it ain't FBA and it ain't certified, then it ain't real. So all the imposters that's been popping up lately, all these fake folks that been jumping up and down trying to tell us what we needs to do and what we shoulds do, that don't mean a thing. Because we, as a community, as a collective lineage, heritage, and culture, we've been the ones that everybody's following. Y'all know I say it all the time. When foundational Black Americans go, the world follows. When foundational Black Americans say something's true, you can take it to the bank. What have we been wrong about, family? That's the question I asked to everybody. What have we been wrong about? We called out Jimmy Crow Joe. We said they weren't going to do nothing for Black folks. We said everybody was going to get silent. They have. We said everybody was going to act like they didn't know what we was talking about. They act like they don't know. This is what we mean. We say things happen. They don't have that power. The Tethers ain't got that power. The Fleers ain't got that power. Nobody does. This is all about us. And that's the beautiful thing about this lineage is that if they sit back and they watch us, they better enjoy the show because we've been putting on the show every single day, all the goddamn time. So it wouldn't be right unless I showed y'all new footage of Joe Biden right now as we've been airing and as we've been broadcasting. This is what's been going on with Joe Biden, y'all. Somebody help. Somebody get this man to nursing home. He's lost. He don't know what to do right now, y'all. The man is gone. I mean, that man is gone, not to be found. Can't see him nowhere. He is out there thinking about the bingo game from last night. He's thinking about when he slipped and fell. He's thinking about when he put on his goddamn jacket and his wife told him that you got it on wrong and he dropped his goddamn glasses. He's thinking about 1922. He's thinking about the goddamn plantation. He's thinking about his son with a pipe on a laptop. Yep. He's thinking about everything other than where the fuck he's at, who the fuck he is, and what the fuck is going on. And he's knowing that when he wakes up from his nap, when his ass gets back up, certified foundational Black Americans are going to be a problem that they're going to have to deal with. And foundational Black Americans are a problem that they cannot get away from. G-check, G-check, G-check. With that said, family, y'all know we've been roasting. We've been putting it in for a long time because that's all we do over here on the Certified Black Society Black Alpha Network. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. One love, much love, love all the time. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding. We stronger than ever. We're going to continue to stay strong. And the whole world is watching us. And we've been putting on the show because that's what we built for, man. They don't know. They do not know. They think that this is the era before. Hell no. No. You're going to lose sleep fucking with us. You're going to lose some real sleep fucking with us because we just too strong. We too certified. They be on that counterfeit shit. So when you talk about the Bucks, You start talking about the banjos. You start talking about the biscuits and the sambos. You start talking about the shields. You start talking about the dominant society. One thing that we know for sure is that they all exist over there and we right here, and they can't step in our presence. They got two choices, and it's always been this way. But right now in this generation, we making it clear, loud, and proud. They better get that shit up or they going to get that shit took. And foundational Black Americans are going to be the ones doing the taking. I want y'all to stay good, family. I'm about to tap on out, man. I appreciate the love. We got more stuff coming. We got more roast. We got the livest chat. I don't care what nobody says. We got the livest chat. I appreciate everybody who comes through. We roast, we put it down. But the thing about us that separates us from a lot of folks, family, is that we not only roast, but we drop receipts. You know, we keep it real. Not only do we G-check, but we G-check on the way to the bank. And when you can G-check somebody on the way to the bank, get your money and still shine on them, that's a whole nother issue. So I salute everybody in the chat. I see y'all. I see y'all. One love, much respect for pulling up. I'm about to tap in. My brother Afro Elite about to come on, man. So y'all make sure you'll tap in with my brother. He about to come on here in a couple minutes, man. So that's what I'm about to do, man. Certified salute. We working on something real strong for the family. We going to continue to work on strong for the family. And y'all know for real, anytime you see that right there, Black Alpha Network, it's going to be real activism. It's going to be real strength. It's the strength of all of you guys because I'm nothing without the whole family. The family stays together and we stay strong and we strong forever, man. So y'all stay good. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay vigilant and do me one solid. I just need y'all to do me one goddamn favor. If you see a Democratic shield and when Joe Biden wakes up from his 100-year nap, let him know that this is FBA all goddamn day certified all the time, and they better check in before they asses check out. We in the building. Black is beautiful. Beautiful is always black. One love, family.
That's our motto. We want freedom by any means necessary. Hell, I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you can know I said, with the last words on my